Chapter 421. Lan Wanru asked angrily. Nonsense. There won't be any problems. He's Di Hao Qian, the king of D City. There won't be any problems. If you say one more word, I'll tear your mouth off. Tang Bao pointed at Lan Wanru with a fierce look in his eyes. Lan Wanru was shocked by Tang Bao's fierceness and was speechless for a moment. The two bodyguards beside him were speechless. "Let me in," Tang Bao roared. Lan Wanru calmed himself down and mocked. "Do you think I'll let you in? Lan Wanru, I know you like Di Hao Qian, but can you not be so selfish at this time?" "Selfish? Brother Hao Qian will only be safe when you're not around. Besides, even if you go in, Big Ant will chase you out. In the D family, other than Brother Hao Qian who sympathizes with you, no one else likes you. Take this time to think about your escape route." Lan Wanru said coldly and turned to walk into the hospital. "Lan Wanru, don't go. Lan Wanru." Tang Bao shouted emotionally at the person who was walking further and further away. He resisted and pulled the bodyguards. Without any warning, a hand knife hit the back of Tang Bao's neck. Tang Bao groaned, and his vision turned black. His body went limp, and he fell to the ground. He fell into the arms of Di Junbai, who caught him from behind. Suddenly, there was no movement behind him. Lan Wanru turned around and saw Di Junbai leaving with Tang Bao in his arms. Di Junbai liked Tang Bao, but even so, Lan Wanru was not happy. After all, Di Junbai was her brother. Even so, she could not avoid seeing Tang Bao's disgusting face. However, after weighing the pros and cons, she was more reluctant to let the Tang Bao pester Di Hao Qian. Besides, even if Yu Songhuan didn't accept Tang Bao, would Li Yuhuai and Di Lingyue accept him? Impossible. Lan Wanru sneered, turned around, and went in. She had to watch over Di Hao Qian. She was the one who ultimately guarded Di Hao Qian. In the car, Tang Bao was placed in the front passenger seat. Di Junbai drove with one hand and held Tang Bao's small hand with the other. He looked straight ahead. While waiting for the traffic light, he turned his face and looked at the unconscious Tang Bao. Her defenseless sleeping face made him lose his focus. It was not until the car behind them honked that he came back to his senses. The red light had already turned green. Tang Bao felt a soreness at the back of her neck when she regained consciousness. She groaned in pain. The next second, she opened her eyes and sat up, only to find that she was lying on the bed. However, the room, she looked around. Why did she feel like she had seen it somewhere before? Where was this? Just as she was in a daze, the door opened. The person who came in was Di Junbai. Tang Bao was stunned. Brother Junbai? Only now did she understand why the room looked familiar. Because she had been here before. She had to hide from Di Hao Qian and had no home to return to. "You're awake." Di Junbai handed her the water he had poured for her. "It's not hot anymore. You'll feel better after drinking it." Tang Bao took it. "Did you knock me out? I saw that you were too emotional at the time, so I could only take you away in this way," Di Junbai said. Tang Bao thought of something, and her expression changed. She put the cup on the bedside table, lifted the blanket, and got out of bed. "Are you going to the hospital?" Di Junbai asked. "Yes, I'm going to find Di Hao Qian. He's still in surgery. I want to watch over him." "I think it's better for you to wait here instead of going now," Di Junbai calmly suggested. "Why? It's an operation now. They need absolute silence outside the operating theater. Can you imagine the consequences if you go?" Di Junbai asked. This caused Tang Bao to be stunned. "I know you're worried about him, but I also hope that he'll be well and that the operation can be completed smoothly." "Of course. Then wait here. Listen to me," Di Junbai said. Tang Bao bit her lip. She was struggling and in pain. "My parents, Wanru, and Annie are outside the operating theater. You don't have to worry about him alone." Tang Bao looked at Di Junbai with tears in her eyes and walked back and forth helplessly. Her mind was in a mess, as if she was sick. Did Di Hao Qian's head hurt the same as hers now? The kind that could not be suppressed at all. Di Junbai was right. If she went, it would only deepen the conflict between her and Yu Songhuan. Then, they would quarrel and chase each other away. It would be noisy. It would not benefit Di Hao Qian's operation at all. She knew all too well how much Yu Songhuan hated her. How could he be willing to let her get close to Di Hao Qian? Tang Bao. Tang Bao stepped forward and grabbed Di Junbai's arm helplessly as if she was holding on to a life-saving piece of driftwood. Brother Junbai, can you help me guard outside the operating theater? Then, if anything happens, you can tell me. No, Di Haoyan will be fine. He'll be fine. Then, when he's done with the operation, can you tell me the news of the operation's success? That's enough. You don't have to do anything else. Because they don't like me, they don't want to tell me about Di Haoyan. Di Junbai looked at Tang Bao with tears in his eyes. They were crystal clear and trembling. He took her hand and pulled her into his arms. He said in a slightly absent-minded manner, "You're doing this for him. My heart hurts." Tang Bao was stunned by Di Junbai's words. She did not think much about it, but she was not used to being hugged like this. Moreover, Di Haoyan did not like this. If he knew, he would be furious. Therefore, she slipped out of Di Junbai's arms and asked, "Brother Junbai, are you willing to take a look for me?" "Okay, I'll go now. Wait here for my news. I've ordered some food in the kitchen. Remember to eat it," Di Junbai said and left the luxurious apartment. Her ears suddenly quieted down, but her heart felt as if it was hanging on the edge of a cliff. She was so nervous that she could fall and shatter at any time. How could she be in the mood to eat? Without news of Di Haoyan's safety, she could not eat at all. Even the delicacies that he used to love the most had become unattractive. Tang Bao waited alone in the living room. She waited for the landline and was restless. An hour had passed, but Di Junbai did not call. Tang Bao could not help but want to call Di Junbai. However, when she picked up the phone, she could not remember Di Junbai's cell phone number. In the past, when she was in love with Di Junbai, she was very familiar with everything about him. But now, she had no recollection of it at all. She did not know when that familiar string of numbers had disappeared without a trace in her mind. Tang Bao put the phone back and sat on the ground dejectedly. She could only wait like this. She waited until night fell outside. Tang Bao looked at the sky outside the window and bit her lip. Her eyes were bitter and sour, and streams of tears flowed down. Chapter 422. Everything happened so quickly that she could not react in time. She was already out of Di Haoyan's safe embrace. By the time she realized what had happened, Di Haoyan was already, "Di Haoyan, you'll be fine. As long as you're fine, I won't care about anything. I'll stay by your side obediently and not go anywhere." Her phone rang. Tang Bao's body trembled, and she immediately rushed forward to answer the call. "Brother Junbai, how's Di Haoyan? Was the surgery a success? Has he been transferred to the ward?" "He's not out yet." Not yet? It's been a whole afternoon. Did you ask the doctor when he'll be out? Also, will it be a success?" Tang Bao asked anxiously. She gripped the phone so tightly that her fingers turned white. "Head surgeries have always been more complicated. I'm afraid he won't be out in a few hours." Tang Bao's hand was trembling. She could only hold the phone with all her might. She suppressed her trembling voice and asked, "What? What do you mean? Is it because... Tang Bao could not finish her sentence because she did not dare to. "Don't think too much. The doctor said that the surgery time is within the normal range." "Did the doctor say that?" "Yes. You know that I won't lie to you." That's good. I'll continue to wait. By the way, Brother Junbai, what's your phone number?" "I don't have my phone with me. I can't find your phone number." "There's a business card in the coffee table drawer." "Okay. Have you eaten?" Di Junbai asked. I'm not hungry." "Tang Bao, you can't do this. Do you want my brother to wake up and see your body damaged? He's so worried about you. He doesn't want you to do this," Di Junbai said with a frown. I understand. I'll eat now." After Tang Bao hung up the phone, she went to look for the business card. She found the business card in the coffee table drawer and kept it with her. She walked to the kitchen and saw that the lunch that Di Junbai had ordered for her had long turned cold. Tang Bao recalled the time when she ate with Di Haoyan. His gaze was always domineering. He did not even cut it out during the meal. Now that she thought about it, her heart warmed and hurt. Tang Bao ate a few mouthfuls of food and left Di Junbai's apartment. She did not want to go to the hospital. If she was not allowed to enter, then she would stand outside the hospital and wait. Di Junbai's apartment was too far from the hospital. To her, it was too far away from Di. She wanted to be closer. After getting into a taxi, they went straight to the hospital. However, halfway there, Tang Bao asked the driver to stop. Tang Bao stared at the entrance of the supermarket in a daze. Perhaps now, she finally understood why she liked to steal things. Because her mother's her. Was her mother, tell her remember? Her mother said that when she was born, she cried all day. She went to the hospital for a checkup. Her body was healthy, but she could not stop crying. Then, her grandfather heard a folk prescription. Go to a stranger's house and steal something. Whether it was valuable or not, she really stopped crying after stealing it. After Tang Bao heard it, she took the liberty to think that it could make people feel better. Therefore, it could relieve stress and at the same time, help people recover quickly. Although her parents left her in the end, she still believed that it was effective. Tang Bao did not hesitate and went straight into the supermarket. The New Year atmosphere was still there. Everywhere was filled with joy, except for Tang Bao. Tang Bao was the only one with a different mood and purpose. In the eyes of others, they were all customers. Tang Bao lowered her head and pretended to walk naturally to the shelves like everyone else. She thought that her parents left her in the end because she did not succeed in stealing anything. Therefore, this time, she had to be careful. She had to steal something and leave. Tang Bao was wearing thick winter clothes. Even if she hid inside, she would not be discovered. She stole chocolates. After stealing them, she stuffed them into her pocket and kept an eye on the surveillance camera. She deliberately chose a corner. Then, she felt that stealing only one chocolate was too little. She took another small bag of snacks. After stealing them, Tang Bao left in a hurry. Wait a minute, someone called her from behind. Tang Bao turned around stiffly and looked at the salesperson in the supermarket uniform. She stared at her in a daze. Her breathing was unstable, and she was trying her best to suppress it. What's wrong? Tang Bao felt that her voice was trembling. She had been praying that she would not be discovered stealing. If she was discovered, then she would have stolen for nothing. She would even be arrested and taken away by the police. Then, how could she help Di Haoyan? Just as Tang Bao was thinking about whether she should run away recklessly, she saw the salesperson bend down and pick up the money on the ground. She handed it to her and said, "You dropped your money." Tang Bao's eyes moved sluggishly. Only then did the blood in her body return to normal. She reached out to take the money and turned to leave. What kind of person is she? She has no manners at all. She should at least say thank you. The salesperson muttered unhappily. Tang Bao ran out and got into a taxi. She went straight to the hospital. After getting out of the car, Tang Bao thought that perhaps Yu Sangwan's bodyguard had already gone in and would not be standing outside all the time. She would be lucky enough to get in. However, as soon as she entered the door, she saw the bodyguards guarding there. In fact, Tang Bao felt that she could enter from another door. The two bodyguards might not be able to stop her. However, if she appeared in front of Yu Sangwan would definitely be agitated. Just as Di Junbai said, what if she affected Di Haoyan's surgery? The bodyguards also saw Tang Bao and looked at her with a guarded expression. Tang Bao silently turned around and stood at the entrance of the hospital just like that. Not long after, something fell in front of her in a daze. One snowflake after another, and another. It's snowing again. Someone's surprised voice rang in her ears. Tang Bao raised her small face. A snowflake happened to fall on her face, blending into her fair skin and the white snowflake. It was snowing again. It blended into the night. It became bigger and bigger, dancing into a vast expanse of white under the dark sky. Only now did she realize that there was not much snow anywhere in D City. It should not be too heavy after it snowed. There was not as much snow as in the tourist areas. The mountains there were covered with snow, and it would not melt for several days. It was a beautiful day. Now that there was such a beautiful day, where was the beautiful day? Di Haoyan was on the operating table. He was alone. She would stay here and watch over him until he came out of the operating room safe and sound. She would not leave even a step, even if she had to stand like a statue in the snow. The cell phone that she had just bought rang. Chapter 423. Tang Bao hesitated for a moment before answering the call. Wan Malay's brisk voice came through. Are you back yet? Not yet. That's right. Listen to me. Come back later and play with the young master until the end of time. Wan Malay laughed. Tang Bao's nose twitched. Tears welled up in her eyes and finally dripped down. I will. She tried her best to make her voice sound normal. However, Wan Malay still heard something strange. You don't sound like you're in high spirits. I'm a little tired from playing, Tang Bao said. Is it because you have fun every night that your body is weak? Wan Malay's wretched voice came through. Tang Bao blinked her eyes, and tears started to fall again. What's the matter? Tang Bao asked. Nothing. I just haven't seen you for a long time. I miss you. I'll look for you when I go back later. I'm a little tired. I want to sleep, Tang Bao said. Okay, but don't come back so early. I miss you. The most important thing is to be with the young master. It's not easy for the rain to pass. Rain to pass? Tang Bao felt that her mood was gloomy. However, she didn't want to tell Wan Malay what was happening now. There was no need to make her panic. Besides, as long as she endured until Di Hao Ian came out of the operating theater, it would be fine. After Di Hao Ian woke up, he would want to see her. Then, she could stay by Di Hao Ian's side, as long as she insisted on staying here. Tang Bao. Di Junbai's voice came from behind. Tang Bao turned around. Why are you here? Tang Bao quickly went forward. Has Di Hao Ian come out of the operating theater? Not yet. Tang Bao's excited heart turned into disappointment. Since you're here, I'll bring you in, Di Junbai said. Can I enter? I'll take you in. They won't do anything to you, Di Junbai said and tried to pull her in. Tang Bao came back to his senses and immediately pulled his hand back. What happened? I'll wait here. Tang Bao really wanted to go in. But when he thought that Yu Songhuan was inside, he didn't want to cause any trouble. She could wait here. It was the same. It's snowing outside. You'll get sick here, Di Junbai said. Tang Bao looked at the falling snow outside and said, It's nothing. I just want to see the snow. Brother Junbai, snow represents luck, right? Di Junbai knew the purpose of Tang Bao's question, so he said, Yes. Even if you don't want to go in, you should eat something. Don't just stand here. Tang Bao thought of something and lowered his gaze slightly. He took out the snacks on his body and showed them to Tang Bao. Look, I have food. Besides, I already ate before I went out. I'm not hungry. Did you come out specially to look for me? If you know that I'm here, does that mean that they know too? Tang Bao was referring to you, Song Huan, and the others. I don't know. I'm just going to buy some food. They haven't eaten anything yet. Come with me and eat some. You won't be full with these snacks, Di Junbai said. I'm really not hungry. Brother Junbai, go buy some food. They must still be waiting for you to buy food. Besides, Di Hao Ian's mother can't take it if she keeps staying there without eating. Hurry up and buy some food. Tang Bao urged her. Di Junbai was surprised that Tang Bao was still thinking about you, Song Huan, even now. He couldn't help but ask, Don't you hate her? Tang Bao lowered his gaze slightly and stared at his toes. He said, Di Hao Ian asked me a similar question. Would I be angry with Mom? But I know that no matter how much she dislikes me, it's all because she wants to protect her son. She's not a bad person. She's just protective of her son. So I won't be angry. At the end of the day, you're angry because she's Di Hao Ian's mother. Tang Bao didn't quite understand what Di Junbai meant. However, Di Junbai didn't give her any time to think. He said, I'll go buy some food. I'll bring some for you. You must eat. With that, he walked out of the hospital, into the snowy night. Tang Bao was still standing in the same spot. She turned around and saw the bodyguards glaring at her like a tiger watching its prey. In less than half an hour, Di Junbai came back again. There was still snow on his dark-colored clothes that hadn't melted in time. There was snow on his hair as well. He was carrying food in his hands. Let's go to the restaurant on the first floor. Brother Junbai, different from standing in the restaurant. When my brother wakes up, he'll need you to watch over him, Di Junbai said. These words hit Tang Bao's soft spot. As long as it was for the good of Di Hao Ian, she was willing to do anything. She agreed and followed Di Junbai to the restaurant. When they arrived at the restaurant, there were many people because it was mealtime. However, there were still seats available. It was a top-notch hospital, and even the restaurant was very high-end. However, people like the D family wouldn't eat here, right? D Junbai placed 2 servings of food on the table and said, "I'll send it over first. I'll come and eat with you soon." Tang Bao wanted to say no, but D Junbai didn't give her a chance to refuse and left. D Junbai entered the lounge outside the operating theater. Yu Songhuan sat there, fiddling with the prayer beads in his hand. His eyes were closed, and he was chanting the Heart Sutra. However, he looked as if he had aged a few years. After all, Di Haotian hadn't come out of the operating theater since the afternoon. If it weren't for the fact that she couldn't enter the operating theater, she would have rushed in. She was extremely anxious, but she could only wait. Inside, Di Lingwei and Li Yuhuai didn't dare to leave and accompanied him. Lan Wanru was also there. After Di Junbai bought the food, he placed it on the table and called Yu Songhuan to eat. "Annie, the food was bought from the best restaurant. Eat some." "How can I be in the mood to eat now? I can't even drink water now," Yu Songhuan said painfully. "Sister-in-law, you have to take care of your body. If Haotian knows, he will be so worried." Di Lingwei advised. Yu Songhuan didn't listen and said, "You guys eat. I'm not in the mood." He thought of something and looked at Lan Wanru. "Wanru, your body isn't well. Don't stay here." "No, I won't leave. I want to wait for Brother Haotian to come out. I want to wait until he comes out." Lan Wanru held Yu Songhuan's hand as if to give him courage. Yu Songhuan patted Lan Wanru's hand with a comforting expression. "Haotian will be touched by your feelings for him. If only he married you. Then, today wouldn't have happened. I didn't work hard enough." Lan Wanru's expression was downcast. Then, he said confidently, "Don't worry, and when Brother Haotian wakes up, I will take care of him." "Okay." Yu Songhuan nodded. Then, "Annie, can you eat something first? If Brother Haotian knows that you don't take care of your body, he will be angry." "Will he?" Yu Songhuan was most afraid that her son wouldn't understand and resent her for some things. Chapter 424. Under Lan Wanru's persuasion, Yu Songhuan finally nodded and relented. "Okay, I'll eat. You eat some too." Just as they were about to eat, the door of the operating theater outside opened. Yu Songhuan saw it and immediately stopped eating. He hurriedly ran over and asked the doctor who came out of the operation, "How is it? How's my son?" The doctor took off the mask on his face and said with a tired and smiling face, "The young emperor's operation was very successful." As soon as Yu Songhuan relaxed, she was about to fall. "Auntie, sister-in-law." Di Lingwei and the others quickly supported her. Yu Songhuan caught his breath and put his palms together. He closed his eyes and said, "Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, Buddha." However, Di Lingwei's face didn't look too good. However, that was just a flash. He asked the doctor, "It's all thanks to the doctor. However, does this mean that there won't be any sequelae?" The doctor said, "I'm not sure. We'll have to wait until the young emperor wakes up to know if there will be any sequelae." "What? Sequelae? What sequelae?" Lan Wanru asked anxiously. Yu Songhuan's relaxed expression also became nervous. "Doctor, didn't you say that the operation was very successful? Why are there sequelae?" "The sequelae have nothing to do with the success of the operation. Don't worry, the possibility of it happening is not high. Don't scare yourself. Perhaps there won't be any sequelae. However, as doctors, we can't guarantee 100%. "Madam, I'm very sorry," the doctor said apologetically. "There definitely won't be any sequelae," Lan Wanru said with a frown. The doctor smiled and nodded. "The young emperor has already been transferred to the ward. However, don't go in and disturb him. Moreover, the young emperor won't wake up for the time being. There will also be professional doctors and nurses to take care of him. Therefore, madam, don't worry." There was no need to say much about Di Haotian's status in the capital. The doctor knew it in his heart. Therefore, he didn't dare to be negligent at all. He didn't even need the Di family's instructions. He had already made arrangements. After Di Junbai left, Tang Bao sat alone at the table and stared at the food in a daze. He had no intention of eating it all. Di Junbai walked over and sat down opposite her. He took out the food one by one and opened it. Tang Bao looked at Di Junbai's actions and knew that he meant well, but she really didn't want to eat it. Brother Junbai, go ahead. I'm really not hungry. You're really not eating? Why don't I eat it when I'm hungry? Tang Bao discussed with him. When you're hungry, it's already past mealtime and the food will be cold. Besides, if I don't look at you, you definitely won't eat. You didn't eat much of the food I bought at home, did you? Tang Bao, who was hit on the mark, looked a little guilty. Di Junbai looked at Tang Bao's face and smiled. If you don't eat, my brother will be unhappy when he sees that you've lost weight. He's still in the operating theater, and he can't see me. Tang Bao's clear eyes were gloomy. What if I say that my brother has already come out of the operating theater? Di Junbai said calmly as he observed Tang Bao's expression. Tang Bao was stunned. What did you say? When I went to deliver the food, just now, my brother's operation had just ended. He had already been transferred to the ward, and the doctor said that the operation was very successful. Tang Bao was stunned at first, and then she cried with joy. Is what you said true? You're not lying to me? So can you eat now? Di Junbai asked as he handed the chopsticks to Tang Bao. Tang Bao wiped the tears on her face and took the chopsticks. Thank you for telling me. Di Junbai looked at her with a smile and said, Eat. After seeing that Tang Bao was in the mood to eat freely, the smile on Di Haoyan's face became a little fleeting. But he didn't say anything. He just knew that the more Tang Bao acted like this, the more worried he would be. Tang Bao wanted to eat all the food because she was too happy. Di Haoyan was fine. Her stealing was really effective. She knew it. Di Haoyan was such a powerful person. How could something happen to him when his head was bleeding? He was the reincarnation of the Devil King. Just as she was about to put food into her mouth, her wrist was stopped. Tang Bao was stunned. She looked at Di Junbai's behavior and was a little puzzled. She asked, What's wrong? You're eating too much. Aren't you afraid that your stomach will hurt? My brother hasn't come out of the operating theater yet, and you're hungry. Now that he's out, you're gluttonous. Is this okay? Di Haoyan looked at her seriously and asked. Tang Bao put down her chopsticks a little embarrassedly. Her stomach was indeed very full. It was just that she was too happy and neglected it. I'm sorry. I always seem to make you worry, Tang Bao said. Then she thought of something and asked, since Di Haoyan is fine, when will he wake up? If he didn't wake up, how could she visit him? She would definitely be stopped by Yu Songwan. The doctor said that he won't wake up for the time being. Don't worry. Since the operation was so successful, it's only a matter of time before he wakes up. Yes, that's true. Tang Bao beamed. She threw away the helplessness and pain from before. Her mood was like heaven and earth. She couldn't wait to set off some fireworks. She just didn't know if Di Haoyan would be angry when he didn't see her after he opened his eyes. He would definitely be angry, right? That person was so domineering. Although she thought so, her little heart felt a little sweet. Go back and sleep after you're done eating. When he wakes up, you can come to the hospital to visit him. Although Tang Bao didn't want to go back and wanted to accompany Di Haoyan, she couldn't go near him if Yu Songhuan was around. Then shouldn't Di Haoyan's mother go back? Tang Bao thought that if Yu Songhuan wasn't around, she could take the opportunity to visit Di Haoyan. Di Junbai saw through Tang Bao's thoughts and said, The doctor said that before my brother wakes up, the doctors and nurses will take care of him. We should try not to go in. Since my brother is fine, you don't have to rush to see him. It's good for him. Tang Bao, who was seen through, laughed dryly and said, Okay, I got it. I'll go back to the castle first. By the way, how's his Jew now? Has he woken up? Not yet. His injuries are not light. He's not in danger now, right? Tang Bao asked. I don't think so. That's good. Tang Bao didn't ask any more questions. Jew was loyal to Di Haoyan and had always been his bodyguard. Presumably, Di Haoyan trusted Jew. Otherwise, how could he be his bodyguard? In fact, if Jew wasn't injured, the possibility of him staying by Di Haoyan's side would be higher, right? Jew could help her, so his official rank would definitely be higher than the other bodyguards. But now, she could only resign herself to fate and go back to the castle to wait. Tang Bao had just stood up when she felt a sharp pain in her foot. Di Junbai was stunned. What's wrong? Tang Bao's beautiful eyebrows furrowed slightly with pain. Chapter 425. It was even more painful than when Di Haoyan took off her shoes and socks. Di Junbai saw her expression and immediately picked her up. "Ah, Brother Junbai." Tang Bao was shocked. Moreover, it was in front of so many people. She was really a loss. "I'll take you to the doctor." "I'm fine. Put me down." There were so many people watching. If Di Haoyan saw this, she would not be able to keep a layer of skin on her body. His sharp gaze could even scrape off a layer of skin. Di Junbai ignored her and carried her directly to the doctor before putting her down on the chair. Then, Di Junbai squatted down and put on her slippers. "Oh no." Tang Bao overreacted and retracted her foot. Di Junbai was stunned and looked at her. Tang Bao looked a little uncomfortable and felt that her reaction was too big. She said embarrassedly, "How can I let you take it off for me? It's too troublesome. I'll take it off myself." Di Junbai stood up silently and looked at Tang Bao, who was taking off her shoes. Did she not want to trouble him? That did not seem to be what she meant. Di Junbai hid the darkness in his eyes and did not say anything. After Tang Bao took off her shoes, she was shocked. The feet that were not blistered before were now blistered, and the feet that were blistered before were covered in blood. It looked a little scary. She knew that this must have been rubbed off after the blisters burst. How did it become like this? Did you only feel the pain now? Di Junbai frowned and said with displeasure, "You don't take care of yourself." Well, maybe it wasn't serious at first, so I didn't feel the pain." Tang Bao laughed dryly. She looked away guiltily. She was so focused on Di Haoyan that she completely ignored her own condition. She could not feel the pain at all. Di Junbai certainly knew what caused her to be like this. He felt even more uncomfortable. The doctor first cleaned her feet with ointment. After the blood was cleaned, the large blisters could be seen clearly. As soon as the medicine was applied to the wound, "Hiss!" Tang Bao grimaced. "Doctor, be gentle," Di Junbai said. "This is caused by the medicine. Your wound has ruptured. If the medicine sticks to it, it will definitely hurt. Bear with it for a while." The doctor said. Tang Bao could only bear with it. After dealing with the blisters, he put a Band-Aid on her. She wrapped another Band-Aid to prevent it from falling off. "Apply this lotion 3 times a day," the doctor said. Then he handed the list to Di Junbai. Go get the medicine." Tang Bao was terrified. On the way back, he couldn't feel his feet at all. Now, he was in so much pain that he was limping. She even let Di Junbai support her. "Brother Junbai, you can go ahead with your work. I can leave." Tang Bao was afraid that Di Junbai would send her back to the castle, so she pulled her arm away. "How can I be at ease if you're like this? I'll send you back." "It's okay." Just as Tang Bao was about to reject him, she turned and saw Di Lingyue walking over. Tang Bao knew that he didn't like the way Di Lingyue looked at her. Di Lingyue looked at Di Junbai. "I have something to talk to you about." Then he looked at Tang Bao. Tang Bao didn't need Di Junbai to send him back. Di Lingyue's appearance and attitude wasn't a bad thing. "Then I'll leave first." Tang Bao turned around and limped to hail a car. Di Junbai didn't look too good. His lips were tightly pursed. "Why? Do you want something to happen between you two?" Di Lingyue didn't look too good either. "What are you worried about?" "I'm worried about everything you've done. You and her have a complicated relationship in the past. I just hope that you're clear-headed." Di Lingyue's eyes were full of calculation. "That's good too. The bigger the misunderstanding, the greater your aunt's prejudice against Tang Bao. Then, Wanru will have a greater chance. But remember, don't put yourself in danger." Di Junbai frowned and looked at Di Lingyue. Di Lingyue didn't say anything else. He turned around and left. After Tang Bao went back, Lian and Zhongli were stunned when they saw her. Lian was the first to react. "Young madam, you're back." "Yes." Tang Bao looked a little uncomfortable. She thought about how she ran away on her own. Now that she came back, she seemed a little spineless. However, seeing that Di Haoyan went all the way to find her, she could only reluctantly come back. Zhongli went forward excitedly. "Young madam, you're finally back. We were so worried." "I'm back now. I just went out for a trip." But young master, is he fine now? Zhongli looked at the expression on Tang Bao's face. If he was fine, young madam wouldn't be smiling so happily, right? You know? Tang Bao asked. Lian's expression was solemn as he said, the bodyguard came back to take young master's clothes, so we know. Don't worry, he's fine. The surgery has been completed. It was very successful. He's just waiting to wake up. Tang Bao said with a smile. She thought of something and said, from today onwards, arrange for someone to send food to the hospital. Di Hao Ian's mother will definitely be there. Also, Di Hao Ian will definitely need to eat after he wakes up. The food outside is not as good as the food in the castle. Zhongli was a little emotional when he heard this. He said, we will definitely send food to young master, but old madam's food should be sent by the people in the bungalow. Lian looked over and glanced at her sternly. He signaled her not to talk nonsense. What's wrong? Tang Bao asked. I didn't say anything wrong. She was the one who made young madam suffer. Zhongli didn't care about the supervisor's gaze and spoke his mind. Tang Bao didn't want this to happen. Really, according to her personality, she would definitely take revenge if there was a grudge, and take revenge if there was a grudge. However, that was Di Hao Ian's mother. If she could really do something, why did she have to suffer in the first place? She could have told Di Hao Ian the truth. She just didn't want to make things too awkward. She said to Li Yin and Zhongli, don't have such thoughts. To me, she's an elder. She's Di Hao Ian's mother, so she's also my mother. She did something wrong, but we can't be unfilial. Not only do we have to send food to her, but we also have to make more nourishing food for her. Do you understand? Although Zhongli felt indignant for Tang Bao, as a servant, he couldn't make decisions for his master. He replied, don't worry, young madam, we will send food to her. Tang Bao looked around and asked, does Lan Wanru live here? Miss Lan? She doesn't live here, Zhongli said. Doesn't live here? That's impossible, right? Tang Bao wondered if Zhongli was deliberately hiding something from her. Lian said, it's like this. After young madam left, Miss Lan did come to stay for 2 days. After that, she was ordered to leave by young master and never came back again. Tang Bao thought to himself, did she really wrongly accuse Di Hao Ian? Chapter 426. Then, nothing should have happened, right? If it had really happened, how could Di Hao Ian have let her go? Is Lan Wanru's room still there? Tang Bao asked. It's still there, Lian said. Tang Bao's expression changed, and he said, follow me upstairs to take a look. After taking 2 steps, Li Yin and Zhongli both noticed Tang Bao's foot. Lian said, young madam, your foot, it's fine. I walked too much and got blisters. I've already seen a doctor, Tang Bao said casually. In fact, the blisters on her foot were incomparable to Di Hao Ian's recovery. Therefore, she didn't take it seriously at all, as if the injured foot wasn't hers. They went upstairs to Lan Wanru's room. Tang Bao looked at everything inside and thought, since Di Hao Ian had let Lan Wanru go, why did he still keep this room? Did he still hope that she would come back to live here again? Really, no one lives here. Why are the quilts on the bed still there? Are they stained with dust? Put them away. When we were in the Tang family, we didn't live in the rooms anymore, so we tidied them up. Tang Bao pointed them around and said, and this, throw it away. Li Yin and Zhongli immediately understood the meaning behind Tang Bao's words. Li Yin replied, yes. Whatever young madam says, Zhongli said. Tang Bao thought for a moment and looked back at them. Don't you think that we should wait for Di Hao Ian to come back and get his consent before we dispose of this room? After all, he's the most powerful person in the castle. No, young madam. I think you're the most powerful person in the castle. Why do you say that? Tang Bao asked in surprise, but he felt really comfortable listening to it. In any case, that's how we feel, Zhongli said. All right then, after you're done with this room, lock it up forever and don't open it again. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he walked towards the door. Yes, Zhongli answered with a smile. Li Yin bowed respectfully and sent Tang Bao off. After Tang Bao went out, she thought to herself that she didn't find it strange that Zhongli's thoughts followed her. Li Yin had always listened to Di Hao Ian. Why did he agree without frowning? How strange. However, this also made Tang Bao feel at ease. He wouldn't mistreat them in the future. She entered the bedroom she shared with Di Haoyan. There was a sudden feeling of realization. How long had it been since she came back? He didn't know if he didn't come here, but after he came, he realized that he missed this place. She didn't know if it was out of habit or dependence. Perhaps both. Tang Bao stood at the head of the bed. The two pieces of paper on the wall were so obvious. Just as Di Haoyan said, they were still stuck here. Tang Bao looked at them and felt that these two pieces of paper seemed to be different from before. He reached out and touched them. Suddenly, his face darkened. There was a layer of transparent oil paper on the paper. They were actually framed. This way, the handwriting wouldn't fade with the passage of time. Di Haoyan, how did he come up with this? Tang Bao shook his head speechlessly. How could there be such a perverted devil in this world? Was this something to be proud of? Tang Bao's scalp went numb. When they went to bed at night, Tang Bao hugged the pillow Di Haoyan had slept on. It had Di Haoyan's unique scent. She knew that the quilt and pillow on the bed had been changed. However, it seemed that wherever Di Haoyan had been, his scent would be everywhere, just like his aura. Tang Bao occasionally fiddled with her phone, hoping that someone would call her and tell her about Di Haoyan, or that she would be the first person Di Haoyan called when he woke up. In this anxious mood, Tang Bao fell asleep. When she woke up in the morning, she was still holding her phone in her hand. She scrolled through her phone, but no one called her. There was no call from Di Haoyan either. Tang Bao was slightly disappointed, but she still immediately called Di Junbai. As soon as he picked up, Tang Bao immediately asked, "Brother Junbai, how's Di Haoyan? Is he awake?" "Not yet. Don't worry, he'll wake up." "I know, he'll definitely wake up." "I was too anxious," Tang Bao said embarrassedly. Actually, for her, as long as Di Haoyan did not wake up for a second, she would not be completely at ease. Presumably, brain surgery required a certain amount of time to recover, so waking up would be relatively slow. "Did you sleep well last night? Your feet did not touch the water, right?" Di Junbai asked. "I slept very well, and my feet are fine." "That's good. Did you sleep in the hospital last night?" Tang Bao asked. "Yes. You've worked hard." Tang Bao was very grateful to him. However, if she wanted to express her gratitude, Di Junbai would definitely say that it was his brother, and that it was only right. So she did not say it. "As long as he's fine." "Then who was there tonight?" Tang Bao asked. "Me." Can you handle that?" Di Junbai chuckled. "What's there to be unable to handle? The conditions in a hospital are not bad. There are suites with rooms and beds. It's just a change of place to sleep." "Then can I go?" Tang Bao immediately asked. "Anyway, Di Haoyan's mother will not be there at night. I'll leave before dawn. It's better not to come. It'll be bad if she hears about it. You'd better wait for my brother to wake up." "Okay." Tang Bao agreed helplessly. After the phone call ended, Tang Bao was in a daze. Di Junbai was a gentle gentleman, no matter who he was too. In Di Haoyan's situation, he was so dedicated. In the past, Di Haoyan had always been cold to Di Junbai. They were not like brothers at all. It felt that there was a huge gap in status between the two of them. Tang Bao felt that Di Haoyan should be more affectionate to his younger brother. After Di Junbai finished the phone call, he stood by Di Haoyan's bed in the ward. Di Haoyan lay on the hospital bed as if he was asleep. Even so, he still had to be compared to a sleeping beast. Di Haoyan walked forward and bent his upper body slightly. He looked at Di Haoyan's facial features closely. Then he said, "Do you know who I envy the most in this world? It's you. I've always had this mentality since I was young. Brother, do you know?" Di Junbai walked out of the ward and saw Di Lingyue coming over. Di Lingyue asked, "How is he?" "He's not awake. He's really lucky." Di Lingyue said this, but it was definitely not because he was lucky. Then he said, "He shouldn't be alive." "What do you want to do?" Di Junbai was stunned and asked, "Don't do anything rash. There are surveillance cameras and alarms inside. If you do anything, those bodyguards will appear faster than the police." Di Lingyue's face was very ugly. He looked at Di Junbai and asked, "Do you know why Di Haoyan is so strong?" "That's why he's so strong." He's invulnerable even when he's unconscious. Di Junbai looked at Di Lingwei and said nothing. Chapter 427. Got it. Di Lingwei turned around and left. Just as he left the hospital and got into the car, his phone rang. He took out his phone and saw the caller ID. He was stunned for a moment before picking it up. Is Di Haotian dead? The other party asked directly. What do you think? Di Lingwei was annoyed. Do you want us to stab him again? The other party asked arrogantly. In Di Lingwei's eyes, it sounded stupid. Moreover, if he agreed, not only would they fail, but they would also expose him. No need. You won't be able to touch him in D City. Di Lingwei said. Are you going to go back on your word? The other party asked. What do you mean? Didn't you send a second batch of people over? That's your problem. We've done everything we could. We lost a lot of men and cars. You should pay the money. Di Lingwei didn't care. He heard something else and asked, a second batch of people. Otherwise, we might not be able to take down Di Haotian, even if we lost a lot of men. One of the cars crashed into Di Haotian's car from the side and fell off the cliff. Don't you know the rules of the underworld? If you call us, you can only use us. I will pay the money. That's all. Di Lingwei hung up the phone. His mind was thinking about what the person he hired said. A second batch of people? He only hired this batch. Where did the second batch come from? He couldn't understand. He wasn't the only one who wanted Di Haotian dead. Who else could it be? If that was the case, he wouldn't have to worry about being alone. However, he was still furious that he didn't kill Di Haotian this time. His nephew's life was really valuable. However, he wasn't awake yet. Even if he wasn't dead, he wouldn't let it go. He would make sure the entire D City knew. After Tang Bao came out of the castle, she went to the supermarket that she stole from. She returned all the stolen snacks back to them. Then she left. It was like repaying a wish. Now that Di Haotian was fine, she had to return the snacks. Tang Bao was about to leave the supermarket when a surprised voice. Tang Bao. Tang Bao turned around in shock and saw Wan Malay looking at her in shock. Oh no, why is Wan Malay here? Wan Malay stepped forward. You're back. What did you come back? Today. The two of them spoke on the phone yesterday and came back today. Was there anything wrong with that? Why didn't you tell me you were coming back? He didn't say anything over the phone. The young master is back too? Wan Malay was more concerned about the development of these two people. I'm back. Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao's sparkling eyes, then looked her up and down and asked, why did you lose so much weight after going out to play? Really? Tang Bao cupped his little face with his two little hands. I don't think so. Are you okay? Wan Malay asked. What can happen to me? Wan Malay could not put his finger on it. He felt that something was not right when he saw Tang Bao. But he could not put his finger on it. Why are you here? Tang Bao asked. I have to go to work in a few days, so I have to come back, Wan Malay said. That's true. It's time to go to work. Why are you in such a hurry? It's the same whether you go to work or not. Wan Malay laughed at her. Tang Bao smiled and did not deny it. Seems like it. I want to buy something. Come with me. Wan Malay pointed at the supermarket. Okay. Tang Bao and Wan Malay went into the supermarket together. Di Haotian's incident was very well kept under wraps. There was not even a media report. Moreover, people with foresight knew that with T's power, they would not even dare to broadcast a punctuation mark without T's permission. That was for the famous media. They would never offend T for a moment of glory and ruin their lives. But some people did not understand. Wealth came from danger. Perhaps this was what they wanted. After entering the supermarket, Wan Malay finished shopping. Just as he was about to pay the bill, he saw the current affairs news on the TV in the supermarket. The female host said, the head of T Group is suspected to be seriously ill. He is in a coma in the hospital. No one knows when he will wake up. Our reporters have interviewed many people, but the hospital is tight-lipped. No matter what, we all hope that the head of T Group can wake up soon. Tang Bao stared at the report on the TV in a daze. He was puzzled. How did this get on TV? Who leaked the news that Di Haotian was in the hospital? Tang Bao, what's going on? Wan Malay could not believe it when he saw the news. Is this nonsense? This is not official news. Is it entertainment gossip? Hearing Wan Malay's question, Tang Bao did not say anything. He turned around and left. Wan Malay chased after him. Tang Bao, are you hiding something from me? Wan Malay asked. Tang Bao saw that he could not hide it, so he nodded. Di Hao Ian is in the hospital. He just had an operation and is still in a coma. But it's okay. The doctor said that he will wake up. It's just that it will take a while. No wonder I felt that something was wrong with you just now. I felt that you had something on your mind. It turns out that my feeling was right. What's going on? Why is the young master unconscious in the hospital? Didn't he go on a happy trip? Di Hao Ian found me. Di Hao Ian and I were together. However, I was attacked by someone on the way, and then the car fell off the cliff. When the car fell, I was thrown out of the car by Di Hao Ian. Tang Bao still had lingering fear in his heart when he recalled it, and his eyes were burning with tears. What? Wan Malay was extremely shocked. Ju is also unconscious. I don't know when he will wake up. His injuries are even more serious than Di Hao Ian's. How could this be? Wan Malay did not like Ju, that cold man, who even threw her on the road in the middle of the night. However, after all, they had known each other for so long, and he did not do any substantial harm to her. When she heard about it, she still felt very upset. Malay, I regret it now. If I didn't go on a trip alone, Di Hao Ian wouldn't have been implicated by me. Tang Bao's eyes were filled with tears as he choked. Wan Malay went forward and hugged her. This isn't your fault. You didn't know that this would happen. You had to know that you definitely wouldn't have gone on a trip. The ones at fault are those who attacked you. Those people won't have good karma. And you also said that the young master just woke up slowly. When he wakes up, everything will be fine. I believe that the young master won't blame you. You mustn't blame yourself, okay? What else could Tang Bao do now? If self-reproach could replace regret, she would blame herself fiercely. But she knew that it was useless. She only hoped that Di Hao Ian would wake up soon so that she could be at ease. Chapter 428. She pushed away Wan Malay, who was hugging her, and said, I just came back yesterday. Di Hao Ian has only been hospitalized for 2 days and 1 night. How could it be reported by the media? I find it strange. That's right. If you didn't tell anyone, those reporters wouldn't know either. Just now, the news said that the reporters interviewed many people. Could it be that they went to the hospital? No, I have to go to the hospital to take a look. I can't let those people disturb Di Hao Ian. Tang Bao turned around and ran. Wait for me, I'll go with you. When they arrived at the hospital, Tang Bao and Wan Malay walked around and didn't see anyone suspicious. There aren't any reporters either? Tang Bao found it strange. Whether there are or not, the news was broadcasted like this. Everyone in D City must know about it, Wan Malay said. Don't let me find out who leaked this news. Otherwise, I won't let him off. Tang Bao was angry. However, when the anger rushed to his brain, he suddenly thought of something and asked, Do you think the person who attacked Di Hao Ian and the person who leaked the news are the same person? Why do you think so? Wan Malay didn't understand. We won't offend anyone in that tourist area. Moreover, even if we offended some hooligans in that kind of rural area, how could they deal with Di Hao Ian? So I'm thinking, could this person be Di Hao Ian's second uncle, Di Lingyue? Do you think it's impossible? Di Hao Ian's gunshot wound was caused by Di Lingyue. Tang Bao said, The young master and you were both outside. The young master's second uncle must know. He might even know the route, so it was easier for him to attack. If that's the case, wouldn't the unconscious young master be in danger lying in the hospital? Wan Malay's hair stood on end. No, I have to think of a way. I can't let Di Hao Ian be harmed by Di Lingyue. Tang Bao was so anxious that he pulled his hair. Why did I only think of it now? I'm a pig. Don't worry. It's not too late to think of it now, but we have to think of a way quickly. Solution? What solution? Looking for Di Junbai? No, Di Junbai definitely wouldn't believe that his own father would do such a thing. Tang Bao's expression froze for a moment before realization dawned on him. I'll go look for Gu Linshin. Yes, Gu Linshin is Di Hao Ian's friend. If he doesn't help, who will? Wan Malay said. Tang Bao recalled how Di Hao Ian had drugged Gu Linshin, and his forehead broke out in cold sweat. She was sure that Gu Linshin and Di Hao Ian were indeed friends, but they would never hesitate to attack each other. Therefore, he hoped that when she went to Gu Linchen for help, she would not harm the unconscious Di Haoyan. However, when he thought about how Luo Luoli could help, Tang Bao felt more at ease. Moreover, Gu Linchen was the only one she could look for at this time. Tang Bao took out his phone and called Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli hurriedly came down from upstairs and shouted as she ran, "Little uncle, little uncle, little uncle." Gu Linchen, who was sitting on the sofa in the living room and watching the news, could not stand the noise. He frowned, and his face was tense. There was some distance between the stairs and the living room, and Luo Luoli was a little anxious, so she picked up the scooter next to her and stepped on it. She slid over to Gu Linchen. Gu Linchen's face darkened. "Who allowed you to play with a scooter at home?" Luo Luoli hurriedly got off the scooter. She pursed her small lips and looked innocently at Gu Linchen with her bright eyes. Gu Linchen's face was slightly calm. He looked at her and asked, "What's the matter?" Tang Bao called and said that she wants to look for you. She said that she has something to discuss with you. After Luo Luoli finished speaking, she saw Gu Linchen looking at her silently. His dark eyes were cold. Luo Luoli had no choice but to bite the bullet and say under his oppressive gaze, "I agree. Why didn't I know that you were in charge here?" Gu Linchen asked gloomily. Luo Luoli was a little embarrassed. She narrowed her eyes and smiled. "Little uncle, Tang Bao must have something urgent to discuss with you. I saw that she was in such a hurry that I couldn't bear to reject her." Gu Linchen looked at Luo Luoli's black teeth when she smiled. His face darkened. Why was Tang Bao in such a hurry to look for her? It had to be about Di Haoyan. He had also seen it on the news. Di Haoyan was in a serious condition in the hospital, in a coma. Someone like Di Haoyan? Gu Linchen was not worried. "Little uncle, why don't you meet Tang Bao? She must have something to discuss with you. Is that okay? She helped me before. I can't be ungrateful." Gu Linchen looked at her coldly. "Are you referring to her helping you get into my bed?" Luo Luoli took a step back carefully and said, "Little uncle, I know that you are my little uncle. That's why we just lay on the bed and slept. We didn't do anything. So you think that I can let bygones be bygones?" Gu Linchen wanted to pry open her brain and see what was in it. Who taught her to drug and scheme to get into bed with her little uncle? "Then, little uncle, can you do me a favor?" Luo Luoli pleaded. Gu Linchen ignored her and looked straight ahead. Luo Luoli observed Gu Linchen's expression and thought that his silence meant that he was willing, right? In order to continue, Luo Luoli said, "Little uncle, I've decided to move in with my mother today. I won't bother little uncle anymore." Gu Linchen was unhappy when he heard this. He turned and looked at her gloomily. "You want to leave?" Luo Luoli tried to guess Gu Linchen's expression and realized that her little uncle's mood was very unpredictable. Did she say something wrong? Yes, he must have felt that she had been here for too long and had come to her senses. "Yes, I'm very grateful to little uncle for taking care of me. Anyway, my mother lives in D City. It's very convenient for me to study." Gu Linchen looked at Luo Luoli coldly. Luo Luoli felt a chill run down her spine. Gu Linchen rolled his eyes and leaned lazily against the back of the sofa. He asked, "Do you think that you can come and go as you please?" Luo Luoli felt that his words sounded like he was trying to take her by force. "Little uncle, I can't come and go as I please when I want to. I spent a lot of effort." Gu Linchen's cold gaze trailed off. "If you move out without my permission, I'll break your legs." Luo Luoli couldn't believe it. "Little uncle, why are you so violent?" Gu Linchen laughed coldly. "I could be even more violent." Luo Luoli shrank back. She didn't want to be violent. She didn't understand. Wasn't it good for her to move out of here? Wasn't her little uncle unwilling to let her live here? How much effort did it take for her to live here in the first place? Chapter 429. How could he say that he would break her legs if she left? Gu Linchen looked at Luo Luoli's cute reaction and had a wicked thought. He stood up and approached Luo Luoli. He approached her step by step. Every step he took was extremely oppressive. Little uncle, what's wrong with you?" Luo Luoli looked at Gu Linshan's strange and gloomy expression with a little fear. What do you think? What? Luo Luoli was so shocked that she forgot to step back and looked at Gu Linshan in shock. Of course, she understood. But why did these words come out of her little uncle's mouth? Wasn't this too strange? Luo Luoli obviously didn't want to. But she was already shocked by her little uncle's actions and couldn't say a complete sentence. Why don't I give you a chance? No, little uncle, you misunderstood. I said just now that I was just plotting against you. Nothing happened at all, and it won't happen. Moreover, I did that in order to escape from Zhou Shiwejing. I just wanted to find myself a backer. Luo Luoli was halfway through her words when she saw her little uncle's terrifying gaze. She was so frightened that she swallowed her saliva. Gu Linshan's voice was frightening. So you're saying that you've been carrying this mentality from the beginning until now? Little uncle, I didn't have a choice. Don't be angry. Luo Luoli couldn't help but comfort him. She was most afraid of her little uncle changing his expression like this. He was like the messenger of hell who took people's lives. She looked up at her little uncle's cold and terrifying gaze uneasily. Little uncle, you have to calm down. Do you think I'm not calm now? Luo Luoli didn't dare to speak the truth. How was her little uncle not calm? He was simply not calm at all. She wanted to pull her hand back, but realized that she couldn't. Gu Linshan's deep and locked eyes looked at the struggling Luo Luoli. At this moment, a servant walked in. She stood far away and said, "Young Master Gu, you have a visitor." She said her name is Tang Bao. Is she here? I'll go take a look. Luo Luoli took the opportunity to pull her hand back. She didn't care about Gu Linshan's terrifying gaze as she turned and ran out of the hall. Tang Bao was driven by the company's chauffeur. There was a taxi when she came. She was afraid that there wouldn't be one on her way back. Gu Linshan lived in a remote area, so it wasn't easy to get a taxi. At this moment, Tang Bao was waiting. Tang Bao. Loli Luo waved her hand. When Tang Bao saw who it was, he couldn't help but smile. Happy New Year. Luoli pulled Luoli's / Loli Luoli's Luoli. Tang Bao couldn't help but look behind her. Luo Luoli saw her eagerness and said without asking, "My youngest uncle is waiting for you inside. I'll take you there." Okay, Tang Bao thought to herself. Was Gu Linshan really that nice? Was he waiting for her specifically? When she called Luo Luoli agreed immediately. In fact, she was a little afraid that this was just wishful thinking between her and Luo Luoli. It wasn't that easy to ask Gu Linshan for help. Or was it because it was Di Hao Yin, so he was also anxious? However, when she entered the hall and saw Gu Linshan sitting leisurely on the sofa, smoking with a cold expression, she felt that he wasn't worried about Di Hao Yin at all. Could it be that he didn't know about Di Hao Yin's current situation? Gu Linshan's cold gaze swept over Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli immediately said, "You two talk. I'm going to revise." After saying that, she ran upstairs. Tang Bao didn't care anymore. He hurried forward and asked directly, "Do you know about Di Hao Yin? The news is out." "Of course I know. Why are you still so calm?" Tang Bao couldn't believe it. "According to what you said, aren't you friends? Shouldn't friends help each other?" "So, you're here to ask for help?" Gu Linshan asked even though he knew the answer. "What's wrong with that? Di Hao Yin is still unconscious in the hospital. I'm afraid that someone will harm him. I suspect that the person who attacked us previously is Di Hao Yin's second uncle, Di Lingwei. So, if Di Hao Yin is unconscious, it's not impossible that someone will harm him." Tang Bao analyzed with him, hoping to get Gu Linshan's attention. However, Gu Linshan's expression didn't change at all. He said, "Don't worry, he won't die. Of course he won't die. I'm just afraid that Di Lingwei will harm him. Since he won't die, what's the use of harming him?" Tang Bao suppressed the anger in his heart. If it weren't for the fact that she needed his help, she would have slapped him. Shouldn't she be prepared for the worst? Even if there was a 1 in a million chance, she had to stop it. Just like now, she didn't have any evidence to accuse Di Lingwei, but she wouldn't let go of such a suspicious person. Gu Linshan looked at her forbearing expression and said kindly, "It's not that I can't help." Tang Bao's heart lit up with hope. "Really? But I have a condition. What? No matter what I can or can't do, I'll try my best. Tang Bao was now focused on protecting Di Hao Yin and didn't care about anything else. Stay with me, Gu Linshen said lightly with a cigarette in his mouth. Tang Bao's expression froze for a few seconds before he regained his composure. Are you kidding me? You're telling me this at this time? Then when do you want to? Did you agree at any time in the past? Gu Linshen asked mildly. He looked at her with his cold black eyes. Tang Bao closed his eyes hard and tried to calm himself down. When he opened his eyes again, he looked at Gu Linshen calmly and didn't move. Gu Linshen smiled coldly. I'd like to know how far you can go for Di Hao Yin. If you're not sincere enough, don't ask for help. Or have you thought it through? Tang Bao looked at him coldly and said, You can give up on that idea. I won't do that. Why? Don't you want to save Di Hao Yin? Chapter 430. With that, she turned around and left. Gu Linshen looked at the person who left without looking back and smiled coldly. She really had a personality. It was not in vain that Di Hao Yin had suffered so much when he had a conflict with her. While Gu Linshen was distracted, he did not notice the person who appeared next to him. A glass of water splashed at his face. Gu Linshen's strong body trembled and froze. The water on his face dripped onto his shirt and seeped into his skin. Even the cigarette in his mouth was extinguished by the water. Gu Linshen's face seemed to have come from hell. He slowly raised his head coldly and terrifyingly. Do you want to die? Luo Luoli, who was holding an empty glass, stood a few meters away and said cautiously and fearfully, Little uncle, you've gone too far. How could you treat Tang Bao like this? No matter how much you like her, you can't take advantage of her. Gu Linshen was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. No one had ever dared to be so impudent to him in his life. Those who were impudent to him would have the grass growing on their graves. Little uncle, you're so bad. You're going to teach me bad things. I don't want to live here anymore. I want to go back to my mother's place, Luo Luoli said timidly. Gu Linshen pointed at the open door and said, Try it. Luo Luoli looked at the door and did not dare to try it. Did I teach you to take advantage of me? Gu Linshen roared. Luo Luoli trembled in fear and did not say a word. Go back to your room and reflect on your mistakes. Without my permission, you're not allowed to take half a step out of your room. Gu Linshen ordered angrily. Luo Luoli put the glass in her hand aside, lowered her head, turned around, and ran upstairs. Gu Linshen pulled at his collar in annoyance and spilled water all over his hand. He was so angry that his face darkened. When Tang Bao returned to the entrance of the hospital, he was completely disheartened. Wan Malay, who was waiting there, asked, How is it? Has Di Lingwa been here? Tang Bao asked. I didn't see him coming, but I saw young master's mother coming. Wan Malay said, It doesn't matter if she's there. I don't have to worry about it during the day, but I'm afraid of the night. In the dead of the night, other people will definitely be less vigilant. What if someone makes a move? Tang Bao was afraid that his imagination would not stop once he started thinking about it. That's true. We can't get in anyway. Wan Malay also felt that it was a problem. Come with me, Tang Bao said. What? Tang Bao ran downstairs and looked at the windows. He said, Can you help me check which window is Di Hao Yin's? Me? As soon as I get close, I'll be discovered by Yu Songwan's men, and they'll kick me out. Yu Songwan's bodyguards won't recognize you. All right then. If I'm violently thrown out, you'll have to catch me with both hands. Don't worry, I definitely will. After Wan Malay entered the hospital, he began to look for Di Hao Yin's ward. Actually, it wasn't difficult to find. Tang Bao said that wherever there were bodyguards, Di Hao Yin would be staying. After confirming, Wan Malay went downstairs. Standing downstairs, it was easy to find the window. Wan Malay pointed. That one. A private ward. Yes, so it's easy to find. It's just... Tang Bao, you're not thinking of going through the window, are you? Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao and asked uncertainly. He wasn't sure because Wan Malay knew that Tang Bao was capable of doing anything sometimes. Tang Bao looked up at the tall building, then retracted his gaze and patted Wan Malay's shoulder. It's all up to you. Wan Malay had a bad feeling. In the dead of night, Tang Bao and Wan Malay sneakily went to the building where they stayed during the day. It's here, Tang Bao said. He turned to Wan Malay and said, "Lend me a hand." Wan Malay was speechless. Wan Malay resigned herself to fate and squatted down, waiting for Tang Bao to step on her shoulder. This scene was too familiar. "Tang Bao, I must have owed you in my previous life," Wan Malay said. "Then we're even," Tang Bao said. "We're not even. All right then, I'll return it to you in my next life." "Is there a next life?" Wan Malay was unhappy. Who knew about this kind of thing? It was all a lie. "Why not? Didn't you just say that you owed me in your previous life?" Wan Malay was speechless. If she didn't owe Tang Bao in her previous life, why did she have to work so hard for him every time? "I'm going to step on it." "Be steady," Tang Bao reminded her. "Don't worry, I have experience." After saying that, Wan Malay wanted to slap herself dumb. She was used to being abused. Tang Bao stepped on her shoulder. Wan Malay immediately tensed up and didn't forget to make fun of the situation. "I helped you the last time because you wanted to steal the bride. Now, you want to steal the young emperor. What kind of life is this?" "I think so too. If I succeed the first time, I won't climb through the window a second time." Tang Bao grabbed the windowsill. His little face was already red. He took a deep breath and said, "Okay." Wan Malay stood up, rubbed her shoulders, and looked at the window of Di Haotian's ward. She couldn't help but ask worriedly, "Can you really do this? This is much more difficult than when you stole the bride back then. It's too dangerous." "It's okay. I'm very confident in myself." Wan Malay thought, "You're not confident in yourself. You're too worried about the young emperor. You don't even know your own safety." Indeed, that was what Tang Bao was thinking. What if Di Lingwei came and attacked Di Haotian, and she didn't have time to see it? Di Haotian became like this because of her. She definitely wouldn't let things get worse. With such a determined heart, Tang Bao tensed up every nerve in his body and climbed up the cliff. However, it wasn't just Tang Bao who was tensed up. Wan Malay, who was looking up and paying attention to Tang Bao's every move, was also nervous. She didn't know if she was right to let Tang Bao do such a risky thing. But she had also tried to persuade him, but Tang Bao didn't listen at all. Wan Malay also knew that she couldn't persuade him. Now, she could only pray that Tang Bao safely climbed to the window and entered the balcony. Tang Bao climbed halfway, and his hands were so sore that they were about to break. He could only step on the air conditioner to rest. Sweat broke out on his forehead. After resting for a moment, he wiped the sweat off his forehead and continued to climb up. Hard work paid off. Tang Bao finally reached the floor where Di Haotian was. He leaned against the railing of the balcony and panted. However, before he could catch his breath, he saw a figure walking around the curtains. From the shadow, the tall figure was definitely not Yu Songwan. Who was it? Who was here? Tang Bao was shocked. Could it be Di Lingwei? Tang Bao was about to climb over the railing with his hands and feet. A corner of the curtain was lifted. Chapter 431. You're really something. Obviously, even the slightest movement did not escape Gu Linshan's sharp hearing. Tang Bao looked at Gu Linshan in astonishment. She was still in the same position of using her hands and feet. It was a little comical. Why was Gu Linshan here? Tang Bao asked directly. "Why are you here? I thought you didn't want help." Gu Linshan did not speak. He let go of the curtain in his hands. The corner of the curtain covered everything in the ward tightly. Tang Bao was thinking that Gu Linshan would open the balcony door and come out to take a look. No matter what he saw, it was normal to see how she climbed up. However, there was no movement. The tall figure printed on the curtain moved away from the window. Tang Bao cursed silently. Tang Bao climbed over the guardrail. She had almost exhausted all her strength. She opened the door of the guardrail and pulled it. "It cannot be opened?" Tang Bao knocked on the door. "Gu Linshan, do me a favor. Open the door for me." There was no movement. Tang Bao thought of the arrogant look on Gu Linshan's face when he talked to her during the day. At this moment, she could not help but lower her head. "I beg you, please open the door. I just want to see Di Haotian, okay?" Young Master Gu? Young Master Gu? Big Brother Gu? I've never seen a man as loyal as you, Big Brother Gu. There was a whoosh. The door opened in front of her. Gu Linshan looked at her coldly. Tang Bao laughed dryly and said, "Thank you," as she tried to squeeze through the door. However, Gu Linshan's tall body blocked her way and did not let her through. Tang Bao looked at him and asked in confusion, "What do you mean? I don't mean to let you in. Don't be like this, okay? I climbed up with so much difficulty. You won't even let me see? Was this person too inhumane? What does it have to do with me?" Tang Bao looked at Gu Linshan's unfeeling expression and said, "At most, I'll go down again. Take care. I won't see you out." Gu Linshan was about to turn around and slam the door. Tang Bao grabbed the hem of Gu Linshan's clothes. His unyielding face turned into a fawning expression. "You don't have to treat us like this, do you?" Gu Linshan looked down coldly at the fair hand that was grabbing his shirt. Tang Bao quickly withdrew his hand. "Do you think I'm inhumane?" Gu Linshan asked. It was more than inhumane. This was simply too inhumane. However, Tang Bao did not dare to tell the truth. He lied through his teeth. "How could that be? If you really don't have any humanity, why would I look for you? That means you're a good person in my heart." She was so close to Di Haoyan. She was so close that she was only separated by Gu Linshan. However, Gu Linshan was in the middle. She could not even see the corner of Di Haoyan's clothes. She was so anxious that she could say anything. How could Gu Linshan not see through her little trick? He snorted coldly and turned to go in. However, the door was not closed. Tang Bao understood what he meant and hurriedly followed him in without another word. He closed the door again. He went in. Tang Bao suddenly stopped in his tracks. It felt as if Di Haoyan, who had been separated for a century, was lying quietly on the bed. His chiseled face was still so familiar. His thin lips were pursed and slightly pale. Beside her was a cold medical machine. It was cold, but the constantly jumping data on it made her feel at ease. Tang Bao's eyes were hot and tears fell again. She walked to the bedside and her tears fell on the back of Di Haoyan's hand. Tang Bao lowered his head and gently wiped away the tears on the back of his hand. Di Haoyan's hand was slightly cold. Tang Bao had to hug one of his big hands with both hands to warm him up. "Di Haoyan, you've been asleep for almost 2 days since you came out of the operating room. Can you wake up now?" Tang Bao asked while sobbing. She did not dare to speak too loudly. She knew that there must be bodyguard arranged by Yu Songhuan outside the ward. If she was discovered, she would not even be able to climb through the window next time. The people watching the monitor were Di Haoyan's bodyguards. Therefore, when the two of them saw Tang Bao enter, they pretended not to see her. They even tried to cover it up. After all, Yu Songhuan was Di Haoyan's biological mother. They could not force her. Tang Bao saw the glass of water on the bedside table and knew that it was for Di Haoyan. There was also a cotton swab beside it. Tang Bao added hot water and dipped the cotton swab in the water. She gently dabbed Di Haoyan's lips with the water. She wanted to moisten him. Gu Linshan, who was standing not far away and leaning lazily against the wall, looked on indifferently and did not say a word. After putting down the glass of water, Tang Bao walked to Gu Linshan and asked, "Can I stay here tonight? Are you preparing to stay here to prevent Di Lingua from appearing?" Gu Linshan looked at her coldly and asked, "What else can I do? I can't count on anyone else. I can only rely on myself." As Tang Bao spoke, she cast a glance at Gu Linshan. Her meaning was obvious. Gu Linshan's face darkened. "Can you do it or not?" Tang Bao asked. "It's not necessary." "Why not? There are surveillance cameras and alarms here. Di Lingua won't have a chance to make a move even if he wants to." "What? Surveillance cameras? Where? Where?" Tang Bao anxiously looked for the surveillance cameras. Her head was spinning like a rattle drum. "They must have seen you. However, the people watching you should be Di Haoyan's men. That's why they didn't come to catch you." Gu Linshan was kind and told her this. Tang Bao felt that surveillance cameras and alarms were very necessary. She did not expect that he would think of security measures earlier than she did. She was still too slow to react. If Di Haoyan really needed her protection, it would be very sad. Then Tang Bao thought of something and said, What if the person who wants to make a move is disguised as a doctor or nurse and comes in with a mask? The bodyguards won't know whether they are good or bad people. Have you watched too much TV? Isn't that the case? Tang Bao was not happy with Gu Linshan's sarcasm. On TV, it's for the sake of the plot. What are you doing now? There's always a what if. Tang Bao was not convinced. She felt that she was more nervous than the others. She felt that the others were very calm. The people who come in are not allowed to wear masks. Oh, that's good. I can see their faces. Tang Bao turned to look at Di Haoyan. Can't I stay here? She really wanted to stay here. Although she asked this, she knew that she could not stay here. Yu Songhuan would be here tomorrow morning. She came here because she was worried about Di Haoyan's safety. Now, she did not need to worry. So, if she stayed here, she would only disturb Di Haoyan's peace, right? You can go now. Gu Linshan urged her. You go first. I'll stay here for a while. Tang Bao sat on the stool beside the bed. She held her face in her hands and stared at Di Haoyan, who was sleeping soundly. She came in through the window anyway. It did not matter if she was a little late. Chapter 432. Why? Tang Bao did not understand. Are you going to climb through the window with me? Don't need to climb through the window. Gu Linshan's expression was cold. Then you won't let me go through the front door with you, right? No, the bodyguard will see us. You've already come in, so what if they see us? Let's go. Tang Bao was still sitting there reluctantly. Do you want me to make a move? Gu Linshan asked threateningly. Tang Bao looked at Di Haoyan and stood up reluctantly. She did not dare to stay still. If Gu Linshan wanted to make a move on her, Di Haoyan would not be able to help her. When she got up, Tang Bao stuffed something under Di Haoyan's pillow. Gu Linshan noticed it but pretended not to see it. Tang Bao just put her crystal wolf puppy under the pillow, as if she was the one accompanying Di Haoyan. The door of the ward opened. The bodyguards bowed their heads respectfully. However, when they saw Tang Bao coming out, they were stunned. Especially the two bodyguards sent by Yu Songhuan. They were even more stunned. When Tang Bao saw Di Junbai outside, she smiled at him. Then, when she was in front of Yu Songhuan's bodyguards, she stopped and said, Look, you didn't see such a big person like me coming in. What if she's a bad person? So, you must do your job well, understand? Tang Bao ignored their confusion and left with Gu Linshan. The bodyguards never thought that Tang Bao would take such a big risk and climb through the window like a gecko. They really thought that she sneaked in right under their noses. So they asked Di Haoyan's bodyguards, Did you see her go in? Yes. Tang Bao followed Gu Linshan and walked away openly. You're smart, Gu Linshan said coldly. What? If you put it that way, they won't even have the courage to report it to Yu Songhuan. After following Di Haoyan for so long, you become smarter. Do you need to learn from him? I was born smart, Tang Bao said unhappily. Gu Linshan snorted coldly in response. Tang Bao did not want to argue with him about this, so he changed the topic and asked, Should I ask the doctor when Di Haoyan will wake up? You're waking up too slowly. I asked the doctor. What did the doctor say? He will wake up at any moment. Wake up anytime. Tang Bao felt that he did not want to wait for another second. You can ask the doctor, Gu Linshan said coldly. After leaving the hospital, she got into the car. Tang Bao watched the car leave without any reluctance. That's right. What was he reluctant to leave? From the looks of it, Di Haoyan was already very good. Now, no one could help him. As a safety measure, the power that Di Haoyan left behind could already take care of everything. All that was left was for Di Haoyan to wake up. Tang Bao went around the front and went to the side to find Wan Malay. From afar, he saw Wan Malay waiting there, looking up. Malay. Tang Bao walked over and called out to her. Wan Malay was stunned. Where did you come from? I came out through the main entrance. What's the situation? When I climbed up, Gu Linshan was there, but he's gone now, Tang Bao said. No, I thought you were going to stay here all night. I was still waiting for you to send me a message. Wan Malay said. No need. Why not? Wan Malay did not understand. Tang Bao even climbed up such a dangerous building, just in case. How could he not need it just because he said so? It was completely different from his eagerness just now. Di Hao Ian's ward has surveillance cameras and alarms. It's even more secure than I thought. Even doctors wearing masks can't go in. Gu Linshin also thinks that there won't be a problem. I think his intuition can't be wrong. I think that if Di Lingwei really wanted to do something, he wouldn't have waited until now. He must know that it's harder to do something here than to reach the sky. Tang Bao calmed down and analyzed. Then you don't have to stay here all night. Wan Malay breathed a sigh of relief. Tang Bao looked up at the window that was still lit. Then he saw a person standing on the balcony and poking his head out. Although he was a little far away, Tang Bao still knew that the person was Di Junbai. The phone on his body rang. Tang Bao was stunned and took out his phone. It was Di Junbai. At such a high distance, it was impossible to talk to him, even if he screamed. That was why Di Junbai called him. Tang Bao picked up the phone. "Hello. Did you climb up from here?" Di Junbai asked. Tang Bao knew what he meant and directly admitted, "I can't go through the front door." "Is it that important? Is it so important that you don't care about your own safety? Do you know the consequences of accidentally falling down?" Di Junbai rarely said such harsh words to Tang Bao. Tang Bao was stunned. "Sorry, I just want to see him. Did I scare you?" She didn't expect Di Junbai to be able to tell that she had climbed up the stairs. Her words would probably only be able to fool the bodyguard who was all brawn and no brain. "If you want to see him, you can tell me. Doing such a dangerous thing really scared me. I don't want you to do that either." Tang Bao looked up and couldn't see Di Junbai's expression clearly. But it definitely wouldn't be good. Before she even said anything, Di Junbai said directly, "Go back and rest early." Then he hung up the phone. She heard the sound of the phone being hung up. Di Junbai had also entered the ward. She couldn't see him anymore. Tang Bao's heart was empty. Even if she could see Di Junbai, it would still be good. It was as if she could know everything about Di Hao Ian. She could be the first to deliver the news to her. "Di Junbai is guarding here?" Wan Malay asked. "Yes. It seems that young Master Di's younger brother is not bad," Wan Malay said. "Yes, after Di Hao Ian's surgery, he was always here at night," Tang Bao said. In her heart, Di Junbai had always been a gentle and considerate man. He was so kind to strangers, so, of course, he was even better to his family. Even when Di Hao Ian treated him badly because of a misunderstanding, he was able to let bygones be bygones. Let's go back. We don't need to stay here anymore." The two of them left the hospital. After getting into the car, Tang Bao directly instructed the driver to go to Wan Malay's residence. When they arrived, Tang Bao followed them out of the car. "Why are you getting out of the car?" Wan Malay was stunned. "I'll sleep with you. You don't sleep in such a big castle's golden nest, but you like my dog's kennel here," Wan Malay said unhappily. Tang Bao looked at the bright ice wheel in the night sky and said, "When Di Hao Ian wasn't in the castle, I didn't want to stay." "Malay, that feeling of emptiness, it's like you've lost something very important, something that can't be filled with anything." Wan Malay felt a little uncomfortable listening to him and said, "Go in, don't stand outside." Tang Bao went back to take a shower, went to bed, and fell asleep. Chapter 433. However, Tang Bao's mind wasn't quiet. She was dreaming. She dreamed of Di Hao Ian waking up. She heard Di Hao Ian asking, "Bao, do you miss me?" Tang Bao replied, "Yes." In the past, when Di Hao Ian asked her this, she would never answer, because Di Hao Ian was always restless. After she answered, she woke up. When she opened her eyes, the room was pitch black. Why did she wake up? Why didn't she have such a good dream for a while? It was a little difficult for Tang Bao to fall asleep again. When the sun rose, she fell asleep again, but she didn't have any more dreams. When Di Lingwa woke up in the morning, he was asked by a higher-up, "Is young Master Di really unconscious? Can he wake up? We are all worried and want to visit him." Di Lingwa said, "There's no need to visit him. As for whether he can wake up or not, it's hard to say. However, you don't have to worry. Di Junbai and I are here. Everything will be fine. It will be just like when young Master Di is here." Di Lingwa said this indirectly to admit Di Hao Ian's current situation. Of course, that higher-up wasn't stupid. He understood what Di Lingwa meant. If Di Hao Ian didn't make it and didn't have an heir, then Di Lingyue's family would be in charge of tea. However, it seemed that Di Haoyin's aura was deeply rooted in tea. Therefore, even if they wanted to follow Di Lingyue's lead, they would still have lingering fears. Li Yuhuai was getting clothes for Di Lingyue. Seeing that Di Lingyue hung up the phone, he asked, "Is it the higher-up of tea again? I think that if he called, it's not just to sound us out. I'm afraid that he wants to change sides." How can it be so easy to change sides? However, as long as Di Haoyin doesn't wake up, it will happen sooner or later. Then, can Di Haoyin wake up? Looks like the sequela that the doctor mentioned is the vegetative state. Di Lingyue was very happy. Isn't it a good thing to keep your life and lie in bed for the rest of your life? Fortunately, Tang Bao's child was not born. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been our turn, Li Yuhuai said. It's all thanks to you. Di Lingyue smiled proudly after saying that. At this moment, Yu Songhuan sat beside the hospital bed, wishing he could wipe away his tears every day. Lan Wanru, who was sitting next to them, also had red eyes, but he still went to comfort Yu Songhuan. "Annie, don't worry too much. Brother Haoyin will wake up. You have to take care of your body. It's been a few days, but he hasn't woken up yet. Every time I ask the doctor can't give me an answer. If Haoyin doesn't wake up soon, this hospital will be gone," Yu Songhuan said ruthlessly. She was also the kind of person who was good at manipulating power. When she spoke, she would still make people feel her imposing manner. She had just been a vegetarian for a long time. With Di Haoyin's strategy, she naturally didn't need to worry about anything. But it didn't mean that she was an old woman without any ability. The door of the ward was pushed open. Yu Songhuan's bodyguard said, "Old madam, Zhou Zhishan from T Group is here to visit young Master D." Zhou Zhishan? Yu Songhuan seemed to have some impression. Lan Wanru's expression immediately changed. He quickly said, "Auntie, Zhou Zhishan used to be from T Group. Later, Brother Haoyin arranged for him to go to Tang Bao's company. He has always been by Tang Bao's side." Yu Songhuan simply couldn't hear the words Tang Bao. His expression instantly turned ugly. He said, "Tell him that young Master D can come over when he wakes up. He doesn't need anyone to visit him now." The bodyguard responded, left, and closed the door. Zhou Zhishan was still waiting outside. The bodyguard replied to him, "Old madam said that young Master D hasn't woken up yet. If he wants a visit, he can come after young Master D wakes up." What kind of brain did Zhou Zhishan have? A lawyer's brain was naturally better than others. He could definitely hear the rejection in his words. He didn't say anything and turned to leave. He directly called Tang Bao. Tang Bao was eating the millet porridge made by Wan Malay. When he saw the call on his phone, he was stunned for a moment before answering, "Vice President Zhou, I just went to the hospital to visit young Master D, but I didn't see him. Where are you now?" Zhou Zhishan asked. "I'm at Wan Malay's house. Do you want to come?" Tang Bao asked. She felt that even if Zhou Zhishan wanted to see her, he would hesitate when he came to Wan Malay's house. However, he didn't. Zhou Zhishan didn't hesitate. "Then I'll go over now." After saying that, he hung up the phone and drove to Wan Malay's house. Tang Bao looked at his phone in a daze. "What's wrong?" Wan Malay asked. "Oh, Zhou Zhishan is coming over. I don't know if he has eaten breakfast. There's still porridge, right?" "Yes." After Zhou Zhishan entered, Tang Bao asked, "Have you eaten breakfast?" Zhou Zhishan looked at the table and said, "It's quite to my taste. I also like to eat millet porridge in the morning at home. I shouldn't be missing a bowl, right?" Wan Malay scooped some porridge for him and gave him a pair of chopsticks. She said, "Vice President Zhou, I only have some salted vegetables and poached eggs here. There's nothing else. It seems that you're not very familiar with my assistant." Zhou Zhishan smiled. "Why?" Wan Malay was puzzled. "Her task every morning is to help me buy millet porridge and salted vegetables. She doesn't need anything else." Tang Bao said, "Then you're really easy to take care of. It doesn't look impressive." "Millet porridge is good for the stomach," Zhou Zhishan said and started eating. Tang Bao and Wan Malay finished eating. They sat on the sofa and waited for Zhou Zhishan to finish eating. After Zhou Zhishan finished eating, he stood up, took a piece of tissue, wiped his mouth, and sat down on the sofa. He asked Tang Bao, "What's the situation?" Tang Bao knew what he was asking. So he said, "Di Hao Ian and I went on a trip and were attacked on the road. The car fell off a cliff. I'm fine, but Di Hao Ian's head was injured." Zhou Zhishan looked at Tang Bao in confusion. Wan Malay explained, "When the car fell off the cliff, young master Di pushed her out." Continue. Zhou Zhishan nodded. Therefore, it was impossible for Tang Bao's head to be harder than Di Hao Ian's. After Di Hao Ian's surgery, he hasn't woken up yet. The doctor said that he could wake up at any time, so we can only wait, Tang Bao said with a slightly pale face. Zhou Zhishan was silent. Zhou Zhishan, I suspect that Di Linghua did it. He has done it to Di Hao Ian before. He has the motive. He wants to usurp the throne. Tang Bao became angrier as he spoke. Don't let me find any evidence. If I find out, I will definitely not let him off. Zhou Zhishan said, "Of course we have to investigate, but not now." Why? Wan Malay asked. A corner dog will do something desperate. When Zhou Zhishan said that, Tang Bao and Wan Malay were stunned for a moment before they understood what he meant. They had investigated Di Linghua. Chapter 434. The young emperor hasn't woken up yet. Di Linghua must be in a good mood. He hopes that the young emperor will never wake up so that he can let his guard down. When the young emperor wakes up, we can investigate him. There's no rush. As long as he's here, he won't be able to escape, Zhou Zhishan said with certainty. Tang Bao and Wan Malay thought about it and agreed. If I had known, I would have asked you to come earlier. I completely forgot about you, Tang Bao said. Zhou Zhishan didn't know if this was a blessing or a curse. I can't enter the ward, even if you asked me. You can't enter either. How did you know? Tang Bao was surprised. If you could enter, you wouldn't be sitting here so calmly. You would even stay in the hospital to watch over the young emperor. Tang Bao. Wan Malay felt that lawyers were terrifyingly meticulous. Then do you have any way to get her in? Wan Malay asked. No. Wait. Let's wait. Zhou Zhishan said. Tang Bao also knew how to wait. He said, with Di Hao Ian's mother around, I have nothing to worry about. I'm just worried about Di Linghua. When I see him, I feel that he's not a good person. His goal is too obvious. He wants Di Hao Ian to keep sleeping so that he can get tea. He's dreaming. He's indeed dreaming. Even if the young emperor really keeps sleeping like this, it won't be Di Linghua's family's turn. Zhou Zhishan sneered. What do you mean? Wan Malay was puzzled and said softly, the young emperor doesn't have an heir. Who said he doesn't have an heir? Tang Bao also looked at Zhou Zhishan in confusion. Don't tell me that Di Hao Ian has an illegitimate child? If he does, I'll go to the hospital to settle the score with him now. Zhou Zhishan just smiled mysteriously and said, Of course not. Did I ask you to come to scare me? Tang Bao glared at Zhou Zhishan. Her nerves were in a fragile state. There couldn't be any excitement. Zhou Zhishan still wanted to cause trouble here. Anyway, you don't have to worry about that. With me here, Di Linghua won't have anything. Zhou Zhishan said. He must have nothing because Di Hao Ian will wake up. If he doesn't wake up, I'll hit him with a brick to wake him up. Tang Bao's face was filled with anger, but his eyes were burning. Yes, he will wake up. Wan Malay nodded vigorously and said, In the afternoon, the ward was especially quiet. It was so quiet that it was as if something was about to break through, causing the quiet air to surge continuously. Yu Song-Huan, who was sitting on the sofa beside the bed and twirling his prayer beads, felt that something was wrong and looked towards the bed. Di Hao Ian slowly opened his eyes. His pitch-black eyes stared at the ceiling above with a dazed expression. His ink-black eyebrows were slightly furrowed, as if he had been hesitating for a long time. Hao Ian, you're awake? You're finally awake. Yu Song-Huan stood up and rushed over, tears falling from his eyes. I'll call the doctor. I'll call the doctor now. Yu Song-Huan was so excited that he forgot to press the bell. He opened the door and shouted to the bodyguards, Quickly call the doctor. Hao Ian is awake. The bodyguards were stunned. One of Di Hao Ian's subordinates turned around and ran to find the doctor. The doctor and nurses all came over. Di Hao Ian was indeed awake on the bed, and he was checked on in all aspects. Every time they checked, Yu Song-hwan wanted to ask about the situation, but he didn't dare to disturb the doctor, so he just waited anxiously. After the doctor finished checking, he heaved a sigh of relief and said, "There are no sequelae. Please don't worry. This is really great, really great." "How, Ian? You're fine, you're fine. You scare me." Yu Song-hwan cried tears of joy. "What time is it?" Hao Ian closed his eyes, feeling tired. After all, he had been lying down for so long, and his body hadn't fully recovered. "You've been asleep for 5 days since the operation. If you don't wake up, I'm going to break down." Yu Song-hwan said, "I'm fine now, don't worry." Hao Ian turned his face slightly, and the sunlight outside the window was just right. But he felt that his head was empty. It was like a painting filled with scenery, but there was no one looking at the scenery. The bodyguards spread the news of Hao Ian waking up to the castle, and the depressed atmosphere in the castle was finally dispersed. Naturally, Lingwei also found out very quickly. He was so angry that he directly smashed the computer in the office. Didn't they say that Hao Ian wouldn't wake up? Lingwei naturally asked the doctor secretly when Hao Ian was unconscious. The doctor said that the chances of him waking up were 0. This was 0. Lingwei wondered if he was deceived by the doctor. Hao Ian was sinister and cunning. Even though he was unconscious, the people around him were still loyal to him, and they schemed against him as if they were in a bad company. This feeling of almost achieving his goal and then suddenly falling down really made him gnash his teeth in hatred. There was a knock on the office door, and Junbai walked in, holding a document that Lingwen needed to look through. When he saw the mess on the ground, he was stunned. "What's wrong?" Junbai asked. "Don't tell me you don't know that Hao Ian has woken up?" Lingwei asked. "I know. You know, and yet you're still so calm? The power in your hands is gone just like that." Lingwei was so angry that he didn't know what to do. Junbai didn't continue his words, but looked at the mess on the ground and said, "If other people in T see you like this, they'll think that you don't want the young master to wake up. What will they think of you? Moreover, the young master has already woken up. Aren't you afraid that he'll suspect that you have ulterior motives? I'll come and get the document later." After Junbai finished speaking, he walked out. Lingwei calmed down. He was indeed too impatient. Although he thought so, it was still difficult for him to calm down. Why did he always fail to achieve his goal? Why did he have to be suppressed by his nephew? He wasn't convinced. When Tang Bao returned to the castle during the day, he was in low spirits. Zhongli immediately ran over when he saw her, completely forgetting his status as a superior and a subordinate. He was overjoyed. "Young madam, that's great. The young master is finally awake." "What did you say?" Tang Bao couldn't believe it. "Who did you hear it from?" "The bodyguard from the hospital called in the afternoon." "Hey, young madam." Zhongli didn't finish his sentence. Tang Bao ran away like a gust of wind. As he ran, he had a smile on his face. "Hao Ian, you big devil, you're finally awake. I knew you would wake up, but it's your fault for making me worry for so long. Also, since you're awake, why didn't you call me?" Tang Bao grumbled in his heart, but his joy overshadowed everything. "Young madam, why are you running? Take the car." Zhongli chased after him. Chapter 435. "Yes, young madam." The chauffeur was a little nervous. "Were you going to the hospital just now?" After the car left, Zhongli was really shocked. She turned around and saw Li En walking over. She said, "Supervisor, does this mean that young madam also cares about the young master? Look at how anxious she is." "There's nothing strange about that. They're husband and wife," Li En said maturely. Zhongli looked at Li En's face and asked curiously, "Supervisor, why aren't you married?" Li En looked at her. "What does it have to do with you?" When the car arrived at the hospital, Tang Bao ran out of the car. However, she was stopped as soon as she entered the hospital. Tang Bao took a closer look and saw that it was Yu Song-hwan's bodyguard again. "Why are you stopping me again?" "Hao Ian is awake. You must want to see me," Tang Bao said and rushed over. However, the bodyguard blocked her firmly and refused to let her in. "I'm sorry. Although the young master is awake, He doesn't want to see anyone. Impossible, Tang Bao said. Did he think she was a 3-year-old child? If Di Hao Yin didn't want to see anyone when he woke up, how could he not want to see her? It was obvious that the bodyguard was talking nonsense. And it must be Yu Songwan's message. No matter how much she resisted, the bodyguard wouldn't let her in. Tang Bao was so angry that she wanted to flare up, but this was the hospital. What could she do? Tang Bao's mind lit up. Since Di Hao Yin was awake, she could call him. Tang Bao called him. However, his phone was turned off. Di Hao Yin leaned against the head of the bed. The nurse was feeding Di Hao Yin. Di Hao Yin's expression was indifferent. However, the nurse's face was red and her heart was beating wildly. Because this was close contact with the king of the city. Even if he was sick and hospitalized, he was still so handsome and noble lying on the bed. In fact, he looked more imposing lying down than standing up. How could she not be tempted? Di Hao Yin frowned slightly and turned his face away. The nurse knew that he didn't want to eat, so she quickly came back to her senses and left. Do you have a headache? Seeing Di Hao Yin frown, Yu Songhuan hurriedly asked. I ate too much. Yu Songhuan immediately understood what she meant. He looked at the nurse sternly and said, Go talk to your boss about your resignation. The nurse was scared out of her wits. Her hands trembled as she held the bowl. Get out. Yu Songhuan would never pity such a person. The nurse left with tears in her eyes. Then let's wait a while before we sleep and digest it, Yu Songhuan said. Okay. Di Hao Yin leaned his head against the soft pillow and closed his eyes. Yu Songhuan felt that after Di Hao Yin woke up, he became even more serious. He rarely spoke on his own initiative. Especially after he woke up, he did not even mention the Tang Bao. Not to mention meeting the Tang Bao. Di Hao Yin had been looking for the Tang Bao before he fell into a coma. Di Hao Yin did not even ask about her drugging the Tang Bao. Yu Songhuan always felt that Di Hao Yin knew about it. Her intuition could not be wrong. Or was her intuition wrong? Di Hao Yin did not know at all? Did he just forgive the Tang Bao for aborting the child? Was it that simple? Hao Yin, do you have anything to say to me? Yu Songhuan asked tentatively. Di Hao Yin's closed black eyes opened. His innate sharpness did not diminish as he looked at Yu Songhuan. Yu Songhuan could not bear that gaze. I have nothing to say. You can go back and rest, Di Hao Yin said. I will wait for Jun Hao Yin to come before I leave. He was staying here while you were in a coma, Yu Songhuan said. Di Hao Yin did not say a word. Just as he finished speaking, Di Junbai came. He saw Di Hao Yin leaning against the headboard and looking out the window. He called out, Brother, you're awake? I was busy at the company and only just came over. How are you feeling? Di Hao Yin turned his face and looked at Di Junbai with his deep and sharp eyes. That gaze made Di Junbai a little hesitant. Yu Songhuan said, when you were in a coma, Junbai and your second uncle were both in the company. You don't have to worry about tea. Take care of your body and wait until you are discharged from the hospital. Thank you for your hard work, Di Hao Yin said. It's okay. You are the person in charge of tea. As long as you wake up, that is the most important thing to us, Di Junbai said. In that case, I will go back first. Junbai, sorry to trouble you. After Yu Songhuan left, Di Junbai asked, Brother, when do you want to rest? Or later? Di Hao Yin looked at the briefcase in Di Junbai's hand and asked, Do you still have work to do? I'm used to it. When I am at home, I like to bring work home to do. I will tell you when I feel like sleeping, Di Hao Yin said and closed his eyes. He did not care about Di Junbai anymore. However, when Di Junbai was immersed in those documents, Di Hao Yin's black eyes opened quietly and he looked over. There was an unfathomable glow in his eyes. In the dining room, Tang Bao looked at Zhou Jisen and Wan Malay. Both of them were eating calmly. Tang Bao's mood was the complete opposite of theirs. Tell me, why didn't Di Hao Yin call me? Or is it that he hasn't recovered well, so he doesn't even have the strength to make a call? Or does he not want to see me at all? Tang Bao asked. Zhou Jisen looked at her anxious expression and said, You eat first. I will go and take a look after you are done. I am afraid that you will not be able to get in. Tang Bao did not look down on him. It was just that Zhou Jisen had been chased away once. I think so too, Zhou Jisen said. Tang Bao glared at him. Then why did you say that you wanted to go and take a look? You asked me to come. I definitely have to give it a try. Tang Bao was so angry that he pulled his hair. Bao Bao, you eat first. Don't let the young master find out that you have lost weight and then not recognize you. Wan Malay said jokingly. Tang Bao pursed his lips and picked up his chopsticks to eat. Wan Malay knew that Tang Bao would only listen when a young master was mentioned. After eating, the three of them took Zhou Jisen's car to the hospital. After arriving, Tang Bao and Wan Malay stayed outside the hospital. Zhou Jisen went in. However, as soon as he entered, he saw Yu Songhuan sitting in another lounge arranged for him. Zhou Jisen narrowed his eyes and walked over. Old madam, should I call you Lawyer Zhou or Vice President Zhou? Yu Songhuan asked. Zhou Jisen was neither servile nor overbearing. No matter which one it was given by the young master. It is not up to me to decide. It's good that you know it in your heart. So, you came twice for the young master or for the Tang Bao. Don't tell me that you have no selfish motives. Although I am old, it doesn't mean that I'm old and blind. How Ian arranged for you to work in the Tang Bao's company? Isn't that because he dotes on the Tang Bao? Could it be that after a long time, you have also been bewitched by the Tang Bao? Old madam, you are exaggerating. I would never dare to be bewitched. Chapter 436. Then may I ask, old madam, how is the young master now? I only came over when I heard that he had woken up. He's recovering well. Don't worry. He should be able to be discharged soon. Zhou Jisen walked out of the hospital. Tang Bao, who was waiting outside, was stunned. Why are you out so soon? Have you seen Di Hao Ian? How is he now? As soon as Tang Bao finished asking, she saw Zhou Jisen step out, followed by Yu Songhuan. Tang Bao's expression changed. She suppressed the eagerness on her face and wanted to call out Yu Songhuan, but when she thought of Yu Songhuan slapping her earlier, she froze and did not call out. This was because Tang Bao knew how much Yu Songhuan disliked her. However, when Yu Songhuan ignored her and was about to get into the car, Tang Bao chased after him. She wanted to see Di Hao Ian. Mom, is Di Hao Ian awake? Can I see him? I'll leave the hospital after I see him. Okay? Please. Tang Bao asked in a pleading tone. Wan Malay, who was not far away, felt uncomfortable listening to her. Since when did Tang Bao become so submissive? The key was that Yu Songhuan was still indifferent. He looked at Tang Bao coldly. See him? Haven't you heard him enough? I advise you, if you're really so worried about Hao Ian, stay far away from him. Mom, just let me see Di Hao Ian. Di Hao Ian is already awake. Why don't you let me see him? Moreover, I can't get through to Di Hao Ian's cell phone. Let me see him and feel more at ease. Tang Bao said anxiously. Don't tell me this anymore. I don't want to hear it, and I don't want to see your face. Yu Songhuan was angry. The bodyguard next to him pulled Tang Bao away. The bodyguard only let go of Yu Songhuan after he got into the car. Tang Bao could only watch as Yu Songhuan's car drove away. Wan Malay stepped forward and said, Baby, why don't you wait for young Master D to call you? He just woke up, so he might need some time to recover. Zhou Jisen also said, Old madam said that the young master is recovering very well. He can be discharged after a while. You don't have to worry. Tang Bao knew that he had been too impatient. But who could understand her feelings? Or was it, as Wan Malay said, that Di Hao Ian was still recovering and had no energy? However, after hearing Zhou Jisen's words, she calmed down a little. As long as Di Hao Ian recovers well, there shouldn't be any major problems. Tang Bao had no choice but to go back. She was sent back to the castle by Zhou Jisen. Tang Bao stood there and watched Zhou Jisen's car leave. He still did not move. Young madam, go in. It's cold outside. Zhang Li walked over and said. Tang Bao turned around and said to Zhang Li aggrievedly, I still can't see Di Hao Ian. It can't be, right? Young Master D is awake. Shouldn't he want to see young madam the most? I know. It's probably because his body hasn't recovered yet. He's afraid that young madam will feel sad when she sees him, so he wants to wait until his body recovers before he sees her again, Zhang Li said. Tang Bao also felt that it was possible. Otherwise, why didn't Di Hao Ian look for her? Tang Bao was then worried about Di Hao Ian's body. Only Di Hao Ian could fall from such a high place. He Ju hadn't woken up yet. During this period of time, she hadn't been in the mood to care about He Ju. Now that she thought about it, she really shouldn't have. Moreover, she didn't know if He Ju had any relatives. Just thinking about leaving him alone in the hospital, how sad it was. Therefore, when Tang Bao returned to his room, he called Wan Malay. Go and see He Ju tomorrow. What? Me? Wan Malay was surprised. Yes, I can't enter the hospital, so I can only let you go, Tang Bao said matter-of-factly. Wan Malay, who was still in Zhou Zhishan's car, looked at Zhou Zhishan, who was sitting next to him, and said, Why don't I find someone to go in my place? Zhou Zhishan? Tang Bao could imagine it, even if he used his knees to think. Isn't it good? What's good about it? Don't you know that He Ju likes you? Of course he wants you to visit him. Hey, don't talk nonsense. What did you see that he likes me? If it weren't for the limited space in the car, Wan Malay would have jumped into the sky. Okay, even if he doesn't like you, he won't stay by your side for an entire night. For this reason, he's unconscious in the hospital. Why don't you go and see him? Tang Bao asked. Wan Malay was speechless. She felt aggrieved. That time, in order to catch Tang Bao, Di Hao Ian asked He Ju to guard outside her door. In the end, he asked her to call him into her room to sleep. That counts? Don't you think so? Even if he didn't make any contributions, he still worked hard. Tang Bao continued. Okay, stop talking. I'll go, okay? Wan Malay surrendered. That's more like it. Think about it. When He Ju wakes up and knows that you went to the hospital to visit him, he will be very happy. If he knows, he'll definitely be happy. Maybe he'll fall in love with you. Stop. If you keep talking, I won't go. Okay. I won't talk about it anymore. You go and see him tomorrow. Don't forget. The next day, Wan Malay resigned herself to her fate and went to the hospital. Before she went, she was still thinking about it. Should she buy something to bring over? Why should I buy something? He's unconscious anyway. Even if I buy it, he won't be able to eat it. But if I don't buy it, will people say that I'm too stingy? Forget it, I'll buy less. Wan Malay still went to buy it. She carried the fruits to the ward where He Ju was. The nurse inside was keeping watch. He Ju was lying on the bed, unconscious. He was still on a 4-drip. Wan Malay put down the things and walked to the bedside. She asked the nurse, How long will he sleep like this? It's hard to say. His injury is quite serious, the nurse said. Wan Malay looked at He Ju and thought to herself, It's not like his head is injured. How can he sleep so much? You better wake up soon. Otherwise, I'll definitely be forced by Tang Bao to visit him every 2 to 3 days. Other people will think that. You're his girlfriend, right? The nurse asked curiously. Huh? Wan Malay was stunned. You're the only one who's visited him in so many days. You're so nice. If he knows, he'll be very happy. I'm not his girlfriend, Wan Malay said. She thought to herself, happy? He Ju is always cold. He doesn't even know how to write the word happy. Then you're his wife? She guessed again. How can you tell? It's true, because if they don't have such deep feelings for each other, why would they visit? The nurse said with a smile. Wan Malay couldn't smile. She said that she couldn't visit him. She saw the problem. Tang Bao didn't call Di Junbai, because even Di Junbai couldn't make the decision. It might even make things difficult for others. Therefore, Tang Bao called Gu Linshan. To be exact, he called Luo Luoli. Hello, Tang Bao. Luo Luoli's voice came from the other end. Chapter 437. It's okay. Just tell me. As long as I can help, I'll definitely help, Luo Luoli said generously. That's right. Tell Gu Linshan that Di Hao Ian is awake. Ask him if he can go and see Di Hao Ian. Bring me along as well. You still can't see him? Yes, the bodyguards won't let me in. Okay, I'll go and tell him. Thank you. You don't have to thank me. I'm happy to help you. Tang Bao couldn't help but smile. After hanging up the phone, Luo Luoli lay on the bed in a daze for a while before getting down from the bed. She walked to the door and looked at the closed door. Could she tell him that she couldn't even take half a step out of the room? Her youngest uncle was really ruthless. He wouldn't let her go out just like that. Wasn't it just pouring water on him? Did he have to go that far? Besides, wasn't it because he had ulterior motives towards the Tang Bao? Luo Loli was hesitant, but she still opened the door in the end. Then, she stretched out one of her legs, followed by the other half of her body. When she stuck her head out, she saw Gu Linshen, who was going up the stairs. She met his cold gaze. Luo Luoli was stunned for a moment, then she giggled. She hurriedly retracted her leg. After retracting her leg, she felt conflicted. She still wanted to tell her youngest uncle about the Tang Bao. Forget it. She would go and tell him first. So, she turned around and bumped into a hard, unknown object. Luo Luoli was knocked back a few steps. Her nose hurt. She rubbed her pitiful little nose and looked at Gu Linshen, who was looking at her coldly. She thought, how could his chest be so hard? Youngest uncle, why didn't you tell me that you were coming? Luo Luoli complained. What should I say? This is my territory. Luo Luoli felt that his dominance made her speechless. She did not want to argue, so she immediately said something important. Little uncle, Tang Bao's husband has woken up. Do you want to go and see him? Did the Tang Bao call you again? Gu Linshen's gaze was sharp. When are you going to plot against me again? No, little uncle. It's just that Tang Bao is really pitiful now, so we should help her. Gu Linshen's eyes darkened. You'd better mind your own business first. Me? I'm fine. Really? Then continue to reflect on your mistakes behind closed doors, Gu Linshen said as he turned to leave. Luo Luoli was so frightened that she quickly grabbed Gu Linshen's hand. Uncle, don't. Gu Linshen felt the touch of her small hand. Warm, soft, and small. It was as long as he clenched his fist, he would be able to crush her. This touch made Gu Linshen's body freeze. He even felt that his body was a little hot. Little uncle, what's wrong? Luo Luoli was completely unaware that her uncle was having all kinds of dangerous reactions when she held his hand. Gu Linshen indifferently withdrew his hand and said fiercely, reflect on your mistakes until school starts. No, little uncle. Luo Luoli wailed. Wouldn't that mean that she would be locked up for a few more days? Little uncle, if you keep locking me up, I'm going to go moldy, Luo Luoli said cutely. Gu Linshen laughed coldly. His laughter made people's hair stand on end. Then slowly wait for you to go moldy. Gu Linshen finished speaking and was about to leave, but Luo Luoli's two small hands refused to let go. Her two watery and bright eyes looked at Gu Linshen pitifully. Gu Linshen looked into her eyes. They were so pure and beautiful. They were like the finest jewels. Gu Linshen's dark eyes deepened. He turned around and approached Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli was shocked. She didn't know why her uncle was suddenly approaching her. He was not in a hurry, but the pressure was especially frightening. Luo Luoli wanted to retreat and let go of Gu Linshen's hand. However, just as she was about to let go, Gu Linshen grabbed her hand. Her small hand was wrapped tightly. It was a strong force. Then, with a sudden tug, Luo Luoli's body was pressed against Gu Linshen's body. Luo Luoli was more repulsed by male contact. She was traumatized. She wanted to break free, but she couldn't. Little uncle, what's wrong? You don't want to lean on little uncle like this? Didn't you hold my hand tightly just now? Now that you're like this, I won't leave. Gu Linshen looked at Luo Luoli's genuine and unnatural reaction. If Luo Luoli didn't have this layer of disguise on her face, would she be blushing? But, little uncle, this is too close. I'm not used to... Before Luo Luoli could finish her sentence, a slender and rough finger wrapped around Luo Luoli's pretty chin. Gu Linshen's cold face was so close that he could smell the temperature of the other person's breath and even the smell of the other person. Luo Luoli was almost holding her breath. It's okay if you're not used to it. I'll get used to it. Gu Linshen said impudently. Little uncle. Luo Luoli was about to say something, but she felt her uncle's sharp gaze. Gu Linshen had sensed the servant's approach immediately. That was why she interrupted him and made him unhappy. Shouldn't he chase all the servants out of this place? Young Master Gu, there's a guest looking for you. The servant stood behind him and said uneasily. Gu Linshin looked at Luo Luoli, who was imprisoned by him, and asked, "You're quite good at making your own decisions. Do you want to be the mistress of this house?" Luo Luoli was wondering why Tang Bao hadn't said anything when she heard Gu Linshin's words. She couldn't help but ask, "Little uncle, can the mistress of this house do anything, including being able to leave the room?" If she could, being the mistress of this house would be nice too. Gu Linshin looked at Luo Luoli unhappily. Did she know what it meant to be the mistress of this house? Yes. Really? Then I'll be the mistress of this house, Luo Luoli said with a smile. As the mistress of this house, she can order anyone around, including the guests. In the end, the mistress of this house must listen to the master of this house. What? Doesn't that mean I can't leave the room? Luo Luoli thought to herself. What was the point of being the mistress of this house? Gu Linshin ignored her eagerness and ordered the servant. Let her in. Yes. The servant went down. Gu Linshin couldn't continue bullying Luo Luoli at this time, so he let her go first. When the softness on his body disappeared, his chest tightened uncomfortably. It was as if something that belonged to him had been taken away. He had been very possessive since he was a child. Gu Linshin couldn't help but glance at Luo Luoli's chest, then retracted his gaze without batting an eyelid. Then he turned to go downstairs. "Little uncle, I want to go too." Luo Luoli thought of the time when Gu Linshin bullied Tang Bao and wanted to stay at the side. Moreover, she could take the opportunity to go back to her room. Gu Linshin didn't say anything. Let her be. If he didn't let her go, she would eavesdrop. Chapter 438. Little uncle, who is this person? Isn't she the Tang Bao? Luo Luoli asked in a low voice. Gu Linshin didn't say anything. His black eyes were cold and emotionless. Lin Xiangting sensed the movement and turned around. When she saw Gu Linshin, she immediately beamed and stood up. Linshin. Then she saw the girl standing beside Gu Linshin. Her first impression was that she was so ugly that she didn't want to look at her again. However, she had a pair of very beautiful eyes. Go back to your room. Gu Linshin ordered Luo Luoli and walked into the living room. Luo Luoli glanced over and happened to meet Lin Xiangting's eyes. This was the first woman besides the Tang Bao who came to see her uncle. Gu Linshin sat down on the sofa and took out a cigarette. "What's the matter?" "I just came here to see a friend. I heard from Uncle Gu that you live here, so I came to see you," Lin Xiangting said gently. But she wasn't generous enough. Why didn't she just say that she was here to see Gu Linshin? Because even if she didn't say it, Gu Linshin would know what was going on. It must be his old man's idea. He couldn't wait to make this marriage happen. "Who was that girl just now?" Lin Xiangting asked carefully and curiously. "You want to know my private affairs so soon?" Gu Linshin asked indifferently. He smoked lazily. "That's not what I meant. Don't misunderstand." Lin Xiangting immediately explained. It was rumored that Gu Linshin was not easy to get along with. It was also rumored that he did such a terrible thing when he was very young. However, Lin Xiangting still wanted to have a marriage alliance with the Gu family regardless of everything. That was because the time when she was young was always so beautiful. So, in her fantasy for so many years, she felt that she could make it come true. However, after getting along with him, she found that it was indeed a psychological burden. It was very oppressive. However, she found that even so, she still liked Gu Linshin, even if she knew that this man was poisonous. However, if not for this, what was the difference between Gu Linshin and the other men who pursued her? She looked down on the fawning faces of those men. Actually, it was fine if she didn't ask, because she had heard the girl call him little uncle. Gu Linshin even asked her to return to her room. Lin Xiangting wondered why she didn't know that there was a niece in the Gu family. Gu Linshin stubbed out his half-smoked cigarette in the ashtray. His patience was exhausted. "I still have things to do, so I'm afraid I won't be able to entertain you." Lin Xiangting's face stiffened. Although she knew that this was an obvious order for her to leave, she still maintained her elegance. "It's all right. I was too abrupt. I didn't tell you in advance when I came. Then I'll leave you to it. I'll take my leave." After that, he stood up and left the mansion. Get down here! Gu Linshan yelled at the empty hall. Then, Luo Loli slowly emerged from the guardrail. He braced himself and entered the hall, stopping some distance away from Gu Linshan. Gu Linshan stared at her coldly. Luo Loli scratched her face and rubbed her nose under this silent and cold stare. Her eyes flashed wildly. Then, she met her little uncle's gaze and laughed dryly. Little uncle, I wasn't eavesdropping. I just happened to walk over there. Okay, I was eavesdropping. After that, she walked 2 steps closer to Gu Linshan with a smile and asked, Little uncle, who was that person? Do you want to know? Yes. Go and reflect on your mistakes. Why do I have to reflect on my mistakes again? Luo Luoli was not happy. Did I give you permission to come out? No. Luo Luoli looked at Gu Linshan's cold face and thought for a while. Little uncle, I can reflect on my mistakes, but can you go and see the Tangbao's husband first? He's already awake. Aren't you a good friend of his? It's normal to see a friend. Who told you that I'm good friends with him? Didn't you see that he drugged me? I raised you. Is this how you betray me? Gu Linshan asked with a cold face. Luo Loli was scolded speechless. Who asked her to scheme against her little uncle from the start and be at a disadvantage? It seemed that no matter how much she apologized, it was useless. How about this, little uncle? It's fine if you don't want to see him. Why don't I go? Gu Linshan's face immediately darkened. You're going to see Di Haotian? No, I'm going to see the Tang Bao. I'm going to see the Tang Bao's husband on your behalf. She did not dare to say what she was thinking, because Gu Linshan did not seem very happy. But why? Her little uncle was really unpredictable. Give me your phone, Gu Linshan said coldly. It's upstairs. I'll go get it. Luo Luoli immediately turned and ran upstairs. She ran downstairs again with the phone. Because her little uncle did not allow her to skateboard in the living room, she could only run. She ran a little hurriedly. Little uncle, here's your phone. Luo Luoli ran to Gu Linshan and handed him the phone in her hand. However, just as she approached, Luo Luoli's left foot hooked her right foot and she fell. Ah! She threw herself directly at Gu Linshan and fell on Gu Linshan's body. Before Luo Luoli could react, Gu Linshan froze. I'm sorry, little uncle. I didn't mean to. Luo Luoli realized that she had fallen on her little uncle. Luo Luoli looked up in horror and met her little uncle's deep, dark eyes. His breathing became very heavy. Little uncle. Luo Luoli did not know if she was scared out of her wits or not, but she did not take her hand back. Gu Linshan's voice was suppressed and hoarse. Do you like to lie on top of me that much? You'll be responsible for the consequences. When Luo Luoli came back to her senses, she immediately removed her hand and stood up with difficulty. She did not even care that her phone had fallen to the ground. She stood at the side. She felt like her head was burning. If it was not for the ointment on her face, one could see that it was burning red. Gu Linshan's face was tense as he suppressed the restlessness in his body. He glanced at Luo Luoli and said, At least you know what you've done. I didn't do it on purpose. Luo Luoli said in a small voice. Were you satisfied just now? Gu Linshan asked wickedly. Little uncle, what were you talking about? It has nothing to do with me. Luo Luoli buried her head in her chest. Are you sure it has nothing to do with you? It was an accident. Luo Luoli lowered her head and did not dare to meet Gu Linshan's eyes. She regretted it so much. Chapter 439. It was one thing for her to fall, but her fall was so accurate. It's okay. Anyway, I dote on you. You can look or touch me if you want. Gu Linshan looked deeply at Luo Luoli. Luo Luoli, who had her head lowered, could not believe what her uncle said. She could not help but look up at him. Also, her uncle doted on her. He was obviously bullying her, okay? How could he dote on her like that? How could her uncle say such things to his niece? Let me be clear about something. Zhou Xuejing is already dead. Why are you wearing this messy hair? And your face, too. I'm used to it, Luo Luoli said softly. Gu Linshan was really doubting his own sense of beauty when he saw this kind of outfit every day. Luo Luoli could not understand it either. She was already so ugly. Why did her little uncle say such things? Was he deliberately scaring her? That must be it, because in Luo Luoli's heart, no one would be willing to get close to a clown like her. Gu Linshin's face was cold. He picked up the phone that had fallen on the ground, fumbled with it with his fingers, and made a call. Tang Bao's voice came from the other end. Luoli, how is it? Nothing. Luo Luoli was puzzled. Who was he calling? Could be Tang Bao. Did that mean that her uncle would go and see Tang Bao's husband? Gu Linshin, let me tell you, Di Haoyan is awake. Go and see him. Tang Bao did not care if Gu Linshin had taken Luo Luoli's phone. Anyway, she was looking for Gu Linshin. He's already awake. What's there to see? You might as well tell me the truth. Say that you can't get in and want me to take you to see Di Haoyan. Gu Linshin snorted coldly. Haha, you can tell. Since you can tell, I'll tell you the truth. Di Haoyan woke up, but my mother-in-law still wouldn't let me see him. Also, Di Haoyan didn't call me. I knew that he was recovering and couldn't call me. So, can you give me a ride? Tang Bao asked shamelessly. No. Think about it. There's no need to think about it. Don't you know how to climb walls? Keep climbing. Of course I can climb the wall, but I prefer to go through the front door. Also, if Di Haoyan sees me climbing the wall, how am I supposed to live? Tang Bao said gloomily. If she could climb walls, she would have done so long ago. Tang Bao shuddered at the thought of climbing up and seeing Di Haoyan's face. Thinking that he had just recovered from a serious illness, it was better not to provoke him. I can go see him, but you don't have to. Why? With your ability, bringing me along is a piece of cake. My mother-in-law can't do anything to you. Gu Linshin sneered in his heart. Of course, he could bring her along, but he didn't want to. This was the consequence of offending him. Because I'm not happy. Tang Bao was about to ask him what he was unhappy about. She heard the silence after the call was hung up. She glanced at the phone screen and really hung up. Tang Bao was so angry that she almost vomited blood. Thinking that Gu Linshin was really petty. Wasn't it just because Di Haoyan and she had schemed against him in the past? She was being too calculative. And Gu Linshin's personality was that when he was calculative, he was very cruel. Tang Bao walked around the outside of the hospital alone. She stood under the building and looked up at the window above. Her heart ached. The distance between her and Di Haoyan was so small, but she couldn't see him. Di Haoyan, what are you doing now? Are you sleeping? I heard that you're recovering well. Even if you're recovering well, you still need to rest. But when are you going to call me? Tang Bao picked up her phone and looked at the quiet screen. She really wanted to see Di Haoyan's call suddenly appear. She stared at her phone for a long time. Suddenly, an incoming call appeared. When she saw the first word of the name on the screen, she could see the shock on Tang Bao's face and her heartbeat accelerating. However, after seeing the name, she returned to normal. She was especially disappointed. She picked up the call. Brother Junbai, what's wrong? You sound weak. You don't want to answer my call? Di Junbai's joking voice came through. No. Even if Tang Bao wanted to receive Di Haoyan's call more, he couldn't tell the truth and hurt other people's feelings. I'm very sorry. I was busy when you called me. I didn't have time to reply to you until now. It's okay. I just wanted to ask you about Di Haoyan's situation. Tang Bao immediately asked, Brother Junbai, is Di Haoyan awake? He's awake. He's recovering well, Di Junbai said. That's good. But can you ask him to give me a call? When you're in the hospital at night. Tang Bao asked embarrassedly. I don't have to stay in the hospital at night anymore. Then who's there? Tang Bao was stunned and quickly asked. In the Di family. Only Di Junbai was suitable to stay in the hospital. Yu Songhuan's health was not good, and she was a woman. Di Lingwei was an elder. He didn't care about Di Haoyan and wouldn't be willing to stay. That left Di Junbai. It's not that I don't want to stay there. My brother asked me to leave. Di Haoyan doesn't need anyone to take care of him now that he's recovered. Tang Bao asked in shock. He can get out of bed and go to the toilet. Other than that, there are bodyguards around. So, I can't do anything there. Tang Bao was furious. He immediately said, What's wrong with him? He could get out of bed and go to the toilet. Can't he hold a phone? He doesn't even know how to call me. Hearing Di Junbai's silence, Tang Bao said, Brother Junbai, I'm sorry. I wasn't mean to be mean to you. I know how you feel. You know, my brother can be too forceful sometimes. He might not want you to see him sick. Di Junbai comforted him. Zhang Li and Wan Malay had said this before. Tang Bao was discouraged. How about this? When I'm almost done with T's matters, I'll go to the hospital and mention it to my brother. Okay then. Sorry to trouble you. No problem. After hanging up the phone, Tang Bao was confused. What the hell was going on? She wanted Di Haotian to call her. Why did she need someone else to remind her? Tang Bao glared at the window angrily. Then he called Wan Malay. Where are you? Are you still guarding He Ju? Tang Bao asked. No, I'm at the company. What are you doing at the company? Tang Bao was stunned. President Tang, it's been so long since the new year. Don't you need to go to work? Tang Bao forgot. Tang Bao raised his head and looked up before turning to leave. Just as she turned around, a figure appeared by the railing of the balcony. Di Haotian looked into the distance. And downstairs, his dark eyes were calm and slightly moving. He took in everything in the hospital. Tang Bao took a taxi to the company. He only found out after he arrived. Sure enough, everything was working normally. How embarrassing. Chapter 440. If others knew that she was so muddle-headed, they probably wouldn't believe that this was her company, right? Tang Bao entered the office. Wan Malay was working. In the beginning, she must have been busy. Tang Bao looked around the office and found that it was clean everywhere. Even the foot-soaking bucket in the corner was still there. Seeing the foot-soaking bucket, Tang Bao thought of the time when Di Haotian came to her and asked her to soak her feet. Are you here to work? Wan Malay walked out and asked, Then where do you want me to go? Di Haotian is awake, but I can't see him. Tang Bao sat on the sofa. I'm very depressed. Then find some work to do. You won't be depressed if you do it. And time passes quickly. Young Master Di will call you before you know it. Wan Malay said, Forget it. I'm not in the mood to work. Wan Malay muttered silently. You have a good life. If you're not in the mood, you don't have to work. We can't. If we're not in the mood, we still have to work. Di Haotian returned to the bedside. Just as he sat down, his hand touched something. He was stunned for a moment and took it out. He saw a crystal wolf dog pendant. Di Haotian stared at it. His black eyes were sharp and blank. He rubbed it in his hand. The sound of the door opening came from behind. Di Haotian stuffed the little wolf dog under his pillow. Yu Songhuan walked in. When did you get up? The doctor said that you can't keep getting up. You have to lie down more. Lan Wanru followed behind him. Brother Haotian, I'm here to see you. Di Haotian heard that voice and turned his face slightly. He looked at Lan Wanru and narrowed his eyes. Lan Wanru was a little embarrassed to be stared at, because Di Haotian had never looked at her like that. I'm sorry, Brother Haotian. I haven't been feeling well for the past 2 days, so I didn't come over. You're not angry, are you? No. Di Haotian retracted his gaze and lay down on the bed. However, his black eyes once again looked towards Lan Wanru. There was only one image in his mind, and that was the moment when Lan Wanru pounced on him. Only this. Once again, he verified that his mind was still filled with her. That's right. After Di Haotian woke up, he did not remember anything. He couldn't even remember it himself. However, it was like an instinct that was deeply hidden. Therefore, no one noticed anything wrong with him. He deduced who they were from everyone who entered his ward. However, he couldn't find any fragments in his mind. The woman in front of him was the only one who could make him remember. She just hugged him while crying. Then there was nothing. Di Haotian thought so hard that his head began to throb. He couldn't help but close his eyes tightly. Seeing that there was something wrong with Di Haotian's expression, Yu Songhuan asked anxiously, What's wrong? Are you feeling unwell? I'll call the doctor. No need, Di Haotian, who had recovered, said. Why not? What if there's a problem? Yu Songhuan said. Then he said to Lan Wanru, Wanru, go call the doctor. Okay. Lan Wanru turned and left. Di Haotian's gaze turned towards that figure. Yu Songhuan noticed Di Haotian's gaze and immediately said, When you were unconscious, Wanru was worried about you and followed me to visit you almost every day. Didn't she tire her body out? She only came today. Di Haotian retracted his gaze and narrowed his black eyes. He was thinking of a question. Who was she to him? Why was she so worried about him? His mind was only filled with her figure. Was it because of her importance to him? Yu Song-hwan looked at Di Hao-Yian's silent expression and said tentatively, "She'll definitely come to visit you every day when she's feeling better." Di Hao-Yian was silent. It was like a tacit agreement. Seeing this, Yu Song-hwan was very gratified. Did he think that Di Hao-Yian had gotten over it after this incident? That he was willing to have Lan Wanru by his side? Moreover, he didn't even mention the Tang Bao. Until now, he hadn't mentioned it at all. Yu Song-hwan wouldn't make things difficult for himself by mentioning the Tang Bao. He even thought that if Di Hao-Yian got over it, he would let him divorce the Tang Bao when the time came. Marry Lan Wanru. The doctor quickly came over and examined Di Hao-Yian. He didn't find any problems. "Young master, under what circumstances did you feel uncomfortable?" The doctor asked. "When I was thinking about something," Di Hao-Yian said expressionlessly. "Young master, it's not suitable for you to overuse your brain now. You need to rest more. Otherwise, it'll hinder your brain's recovery." Di Hao-Yian's expression was cold. Hinder? He couldn't remember anything until now. "Quack doctor." Yu Song-hwan said, "Did you hear that? The doctor told you to rest more. When I wasn't around, did you not rest well?" "I rested," Di Hao-Yian said. Yu Song-hwan couldn't tell if he was telling the truth or not, so he could only let the doctor leave. He turned around and said to Lan Wanru, "Wanru, it's been hard on you these few days. Come here more often to accompany Hao-Yian." Lan Wanru looked at Di Hao-Yian hesitantly and happened to meet Di Hao-Yian's gaze. It made her heart ripple for a moment. "Brother Hao-Yian, can I come here to accompany you every day?" Lan Wanru asked. It was because she was afraid that Di Hao-Yian wouldn't even want to look at her. In the past, she knew how much Di Hao-Yian disliked her. In fact, Di Hao-Yian fainted in front of the operating room because of her. She organized Di Hao-Yian to look for Tang Bao. When Di Hao-Yian was in a coma, she could come every day. Now that he was awake, would he still want to see her? Yes. After hearing Di Hao-Yian's words, Lan Wanru's whole body froze, and then he was overjoyed. At night, Di Hao-Yian slept. This was the first time he dreamed since he woke up. He dreamed of him and a girl together. The wedding, the kiss, the girl's happy figure. He couldn't see her face. However, in all the images, it wasn't her face. In the end, when the girl finally turned around, he saw her face. Lan Wanru. Di Hao-Yian woke up in the morning, and his heart was empty. He touched the little crystal wolf dog again, and his eyes were in a daze. Whose was this? Why was it so familiar? But he couldn't remember. After the previous nurse left, a steady nurse replaced her. She respectfully fed Di Hao-Yian breakfast. The car stopped outside, and Lan Wanru got out of the car. In the past, she came to the hospital with Yu Song-hwan. This time, she came to the hospital alone. She didn't forget Yu Song-hwan's instructions when she left the hospital yesterday. It turned out that until now, Di Hao-Yian hadn't mentioned the Tang Bao, and he also told her not to mention it in front of Di Hao-Yian, so as to avoid any unpleasantness. This made Lan Wanru feel very strange, because Di Hao-Yian only had eyes for the Tang Bao. Why didn't he mention it after he woke up? But as Yu Song-hwan said, it was best not to mention it. Lan Wanru pushed open the door of the ward with a happy heart. Inside, Di Hao-Yian had just finished his breakfast and was getting out of bed. Chapter 441. The bodyguard said, "The doctor said that he needs to move around appropriately." "That's good." Lan Wanru glanced at Di Hao-Yian and went forward to support him. Di Hao-Yian turned his face and looked at Lan Wanru's actions. His eyes were as dark as ink. Lan Wanru was a little flustered. Just as he was about to put his hand down, he heard Di Hao-Yian say, "It's okay." Lan Wanru really couldn't believe that Di Hao-Yian would suddenly treat her like this. It made her feel flattered. She also felt that it was a blessing in disguise. In the past, she would be pushed away as soon as she got close to Di Hao-Yian. Now, her hand was even holding Di Hao-Yian's arm. She was allowed to do so. Lan Wanru's lips curled into a gentle smile. "Are you feeling better?" Di Haotian asked. Lan Wanru was stunned for a moment, then said, I'm fine now. Brother Haotian, don't worry. When I was unconscious, were you there? Yeah. I came over every day to see if you woke up. Brother Haotian, you scared me to death, Lan Wanru said sadly. That's not the case now. As Di Haotian spoke, he looked at Lan Wanru. He reached out and placed his hand on Lan Wanru's face. The back of his hand was pressed against the slightly pale skin, which had the delicateness of a woman's skin. Lan Wanru almost stopped breathing. Was Brother Haotian touching her face? Lan Wanru was so excited that she couldn't control herself. She directly threw herself into Di Haotian's arms. Di Haotian also didn't push her away. This made Lan Wanru even happier. She felt that her illness had been cured all of a sudden. Did she really wait for this day? Was the sweetness after the bitterness? Di Haotian finally accepted her. Perhaps he felt that he had lost his composure. After coming back to his senses, Lan Wanru immediately let go of Di Haotian and said somewhat embarrassedly, I'm sorry, Brother Haotian. I'm really happy to see you recover. She could not say that it was because of Di Haotian's affectionate gesture. When he returned to his bed, Lan Wanru took the initiative to lift the blanket, only to find that there was a small crystal wolf dog on the blanket. He was stunned. He held the little wolf dog in his hand and asked, Brother Haotian, what is this? Is it yours? Di Haotian's face was calm as he looked at the little wolf dog. Without saying a word, Zhang Xian took it over. Lan Wanru saw that he didn't say anything, so he didn't take it seriously. She helped Di Haotian to bed. Di Haotian was lying on the bed, holding the little wolf puppy in his hand. His mind was in a trance. He threw it there on purpose. He thought it would be Lan Wanru, but it wasn't hers. Then whose was it? Or was it a nurse who hid it under his pillow to show her affection? After all, the nurse who told him to get lost last time had shown her admiration for him. Di Haotian should throw the little wolf puppy away, but his hands didn't move for a long time. Tang Bao checked his phone as soon as he woke up in the morning. There was no call on his phone. She was too embarrassed to urge Di Junbai to go to the hospital. What if he was still busy? Before going to the company, Tang Bao passed by the hospital and went into it. She stood at the foot of the hospital and looked up at the window. She really hoped that Di Haotian would suddenly appear in front of her eyes. However, just as she was thinking about that, she saw a swaying figure on the balcony, and she couldn't be more familiar with that tall and imposing figure. It was Di Haotian. It was really Di Haotian. He had fully recovered and came to the balcony. Tang Bao was too excited. She waved her hand and said, Di Haotian, Di Haotian, Di Haotian. Di Haotian's dark eyes moved slightly, and he saw the person waving her hand below. Who was she calling? Di Haotian asked. Lan Wanru saw Tang Bao below and heard Di Haotian's question, so he said she should be calling for the patients on the other floors. Brother Haotian, let's go in. We can't stand outside for too long. Di Haotian glanced at the person below indifferently and turned to go in. Tang Bao was stunned. Tang Bao, who was jumping and waving eagerly, was dumbfounded. Was she being ignored? What did Di Haotian mean? Oh, was he going back to the ward to call her? That must be it. After all, it was not convenient to talk at such a high distance. However, Tang Bao waited and waited, but Di Haotian did not call. What was going on? She believed that Di Haotian had seen her just now. Could it be that he was too far away and could not see clearly? Tang Bao said to himself, not very persuasively. After Di Haotian returned to the ward, Lan Wanru noticed Di Haotian's expression. It was indifferent, calm, and unfathomable. She also found it strange. Did Di Haotian not see the person below clearly just now? That was the only explanation. In the afternoon, Gu Linshan walked into the ward and saw Di Haotian lying on the bed and a woman sitting quietly beside him, peeling fruit. His eyes flickered with a deep luster, and then he looked at Di Haotian, who was looking at him. Looks like you're recovering well. You're doing well, and there's a beauty waiting on you. Gu Linshan was, of course, referring to Lan Wanru. Lan Wanru understood what he meant, and she looked shy because of what he said. As long as it was related to Di Haotian, no matter what it was, she would be happy to accept it. Can I trouble you to leave first? I have something to say to him. Gu Linshan looked at Lan Wanru. Lan Wanru paused in the act of peeling fruit and glanced at Di Haoyin. Di Haoyin just looked at Gu Linshan silently. So he tactfully put down the fruit and went out. Gu Linshan did not sit on the stool that Lan Wanru had sat on. Instead, he sat on the sofa with his long legs crossed, facing Di Haoyin. Gu Linshan looked at him with a slight frown. If you have something to say it. Di Haoyin's tone was cold. I came to see you personally, and this is your attitude? Or are you not happy that I kicked your woman out? Do you want to call her in? Gu Linshan asked. No need. Gu Linshan smiled faintly. When can you be discharged? In a week. Not long, but for some people, a day feels like a year. Your wife comes to see me when she has nothing to do. She's very enthusiastic. I'm thinking of what to do. Gu Linshan said impudently. He had the feeling that he was going to tease her, or else he would be at a disadvantage. Di Haoyin's slightly narrowed eyes trembled. He had a wife, Lan Wanru. He was married to Lan Wanru. Gu Linshan looked at Di Haoyin's reaction and felt that something was wrong. He asked, You didn't call her after you woke up? I haven't recovered well enough. I'll talk to her later. Di Haoyin quickly recovered and said calmly. Gu Linshan did not speak at first. He stood up and walked around. He walked to the windowsill and looked outside for a moment. Then, he turned and walked to the bed. Then, he put his hands on the edge of the bed and leaned his upper body down. His face was close to Di Haoyin. Both of their faces were masterpieces of God's uncanny workmanship. They were very pleasing to the eye, but their eyes were so sharp and deep. They looked at each other. It was as if they wanted to see what was going on. Being stared at like this, neither of them wanted to be outdone. Gu Linshan suddenly asked, Do you know who I'm talking about? Chapter 442. You do? Then what's your wife's name? Gu Linshan asked again. Di Haoyin's dark eyes did not move, but his heart was blank. Judging from Gu Linshan's behavior, that person could not be Lan Wanru. Moreover, Lan Wanru and Yu Songwan had both said that Lan Wanru visited him every day. If that was the case, why did he call her? Why did she look for Gu Linshan? Di Haoyin, don't tell me you don't remember? Gu Linshan looked at Di Haoyin sharply. Di Haoyin's dark eyes suddenly turned sharp. Gu Linshan continued to look at him without flinching. How can you tell? Di Haoyin did not deny it. Because I'm Gu Linshan. Gu Linshan's hand left the bed, and he straightened up to look at him. You're really something. You actually lost your memory. It was not Gu Linshan who had seen through him. It was because when Gu Linshan said that the Tang Bao visited him every day, Di Haoyin did not react at all. In the past, Di Haoyin simply overreacted. He could not wait to fight with him over the Tang Bao. That was why he was suspicious. Who do you remember? Gu Linshan asked. I don't remember anyone. I only remember a few fragments. Don't tell me it's Lan Wanru? Seeing Di Haoyin's silent expression, Gu Linshan suddenly laughed. This was interesting. Di Haoyin suddenly raised his dark eyes and looked at Gu Linshan. What's her name? Gu Linshan looked at Di Haoyin, who did not remember anything, and felt a wave of pleasure in his heart. Di Haoyin, you also have a day like this? If I don't play with you, I won't be a good friend to you. It's fine if you don't want to know. You didn't get married willingly anyway. Your true love is the one outside, Gu Linshan said. Di Haoyin looked away. Was that why he only remembered Lan Wanru? That made sense. Otherwise, why wouldn't he remember the others? Gu Linshan left the hospital in a good mood. The class was about to end. Anyway, it was on the way, so he wanted to see if his family was bullied. As soon as the car left the courtyard, the car suddenly braked. Gu Linshan roared. Do you even know how to drive? I'm sorry, young Master Gu, it's Miss Tang. The chauffeur said fearfully. Just as he finished speaking, someone knocked on the car window. Gu Linshan rolled down the window and looked coldly at Tang Bao's petite and anxious face. If you want to die, just tell me. I'll let you reincarnate immediately. I don't want to be reincarnated. I haven't seen Di Haoyin yet. Tang Bao spoke from the bottom of her heart. Gu Linshan turned his face and looked straight ahead. Gu Linshan, you want to see Di Haoyin just now, didn't you? You're still loyal. Don't flatter me. Hee, I'm just telling the truth. Gu Linshan looked at her coldly. If you have nothing to say, then stand further away. If you have something to say it. How's Di Haotian? Did he say anything about me? He hasn't called me since he woke up. Tang Bao felt uneasy. She did not know where that uneasiness came from. It was just pure uneasiness. Gu Linshan paused. Tang Bao was anxious. What did he say? Gu Linshan looked at Tang Bao's anxious expression and said, he'll be discharged in a week. He asked you to wait for him. Huh? Why? Tang Bao did not understand. Was it that difficult to call her? I don't know about that. For Tang Bao, a week was too much for her to bear. He didn't say anything else? Tang Bao asked. No. Gu Linshan looked at Tang Bao, who was standing there in a daze, and reminded her, stand aside. Tang Bao came back to her senses. Gu Linshan waved his hand at her, as if he was waving away an obstacle. Tang Bao stepped back. Then Gu Linshan's car drove away. Tang Bao stood there in a daze, wondering if she really had to wait for a week. A week, 7 days. Why was that? Gu Linshan's car stopped outside the campus. Some students came out from inside. It was the end of class. Gu Linshan picked up his phone and called Luo Luoli. Is class over? Not yet. What's wrong? Luo Luoli asked. How long will it take? Gu Linshan did not say that he was outside the campus. It'll take a while. Gu Linshan hung up the phone and waited in the car. In fact, Luo Luoli was not on campus at all. She was in a cafe not far from the campus. She was sitting opposite Lin Xiaoting. Did Linshan call you? Lin Xiaoting asked. Luo Luoli did not know why Lin Xiaoting came to her school to look for her, but she knew which school she was in. Why? Did you check up on me? Lin Xiaoting smiled. No, Linshan told me. Then why are you looking for me? I heard you call Linshan uncle last time. The Lin family and the Gu family are close. Linshan doesn't have any sisters. How can he have a niece? The only explanation is that she's the adopted daughter of the Gu family, right? Lin Xiaoting did some research before coming to find Luo Luoli. Many people must know about the adopted daughter of the Gu family. After all, old Master Gu had been quite embarrassed back then. Lin Xiaoting knew that she was a little sensitive. She was a little wary of the woman who appeared around Gu Linshan, but the woman in front of her was so ugly. She did not need to worry about anything, but it was not a bad thing to know more about her. Luo Luoli did not say anything. She just looked at her. She did not know what to say, because the woman was right. Her mother was indeed the adopted daughter of the Gu family. So Luo Luoli only knew that she was not really a member of the Gu family. She really hoped that Gu Linshan was really her uncle, not only in her mind. Aren't you curious about who I am? Lin Xiaoning asked. Luo Luoli really wanted to say that she was not curious, but Lin Xiaoting was willing to tell her. I'm Linshan's fiancé. Luo Luoli was surprised. Fiancé? Luo Luoli's surprise made Lin Xiaoting a little uncomfortable, but she would not argue with a child. Yes. The Gu family and the Lin family are on good terms. It's normal for them to have a marriage alliance. Luo Luoli looked at the woman in front of her and thought that she should call her aunt in the future. It was a strange feeling. Are you not happy? Lin Xiaoting asked. No. Congratulations. Luo Luoli said. Oh, your mother is here too? Isn't she going to the Gu family? Lin Xiaoting asked. Luo Luoli did not want to tell Lin Xiaoting about this. She also did not understand why Lin Xiaoting wanted to talk to her about this. She felt that this person was very strange. Sorry, class is over. I have to go back and get my bag, Luo Luoli said and stood up to leave. Lin Xiaoting did not stop her. She watched her leave. Luo Luoli knew what she said, right? Luo Luoli certainly knew. She acted like she was Gu Linshan's wife, trying to drive Luo Luoli away from Gu Linshan. Chapter 443. And she was just an outsider with no blood relations. In order to maintain a good relationship with Gu Linshan, she had to appear more sensible in front of Lin Xiaoting. However, this was not something that Luo Luoli could decide. Her uncle had no intention of letting her go, and if she did, he would break her legs. Wasn't her uncle afraid that his fiancée would be unhappy? Luo Luoli thought about Gu Linshin's temper again. She felt that even if the emperor was unhappy, he wouldn't care. Luo Luoli sighed. She reached the school gate and walked straight in. Luo Luoli. A familiar cold voice came from behind her. Luo Luoli was so frightened that her body trembled. She turned around and looked at Gu Linshin in shock. Uncle? You? Why are you here? Luo Luoli stammered. Didn't you say that class hasn't ended yet? Are you lying to me? Gu Linshin asked with a dark expression. Luo Luoli was a little flustered. Uncle, you haven't been waiting for me at the school gate, have you? She had been so deep in thought that she hadn't noticed her uncle's car. It had scared her to death. Are you disappointed? No. Luo Luoli shook her head. She didn't dare to say a word of defiance. Gu Linshin looked at her with his dark eyes and asked, Are you going to the classroom? My bag is still in the classroom. Get in the car. But uncle... Before Luo Luoli could finish her sentence, Gu Linshin lifted her into the car with one hand. Gu Linshin ordered the bodyguard, Go get it. Yes. The bodyguard immediately went. Luo Luoli knew that he was going to get her bag. However, her uncle's expression was ugly. He sat opposite her and stared at her coldly. Luo Luoli's eyes flashed. She couldn't bear it. Are you going to confess, or do you want me to torture you? Gu Linshin asked. What kind of torture? Luo Luoli was so scared that her mind went blank. Do you want to know? Gu Linshin asked coldly. Luo Luoli quickly shook her head. I don't want to know. If she said that she wanted to know, she would end up in a terrible state. She wasn't that stupid. Luo Luoli bit her lip and said, Little uncle, I just skipped class for a while. It won't happen again. Where did you go? It didn't matter if she was absent. He wanted to know the purpose of the absences. I went to the internet cafe to play. Alone. There's a boy. Gu Linshin's dark eyes stared fixedly at Luo Luoli. It was so cold that the entire car felt like an ice cellar. Luo Luoli shrunk her neck to prevent the cold air from entering her body. Classmate? Gu Linshin asked, suppressing the rising anger in his heart. I don't think so. I'm not familiar with him. We just played games for a while. Luo Luoli met Gu Linshin's frightening gaze and was suddenly speechless. Why was her uncle's gaze so frightening? She couldn't say a single word. Very good. Good. Luo Luoli was at a loss. Why did it feel like he was being sarcastic? Skipping class to play games with a stranger in the internet cafe. Did you take my word for granted? Gu Linshin's face was as cold as ice. Little uncle, calm down. Do I look like I'm not calm? Gu Linshin retorted. She was too calm. I'll deal with you when I get back. No, little uncle, I was wrong. Luo Luoli instinctively didn't want to talk about Lin Xianting looking for her. She didn't expect her uncle to be so angry. He was so angry that she felt like she was going to explode from the pressure. After getting her school bag, the car drove back home. Luo Luoli looked pitiful as she leaned against the car window, glancing at Gu Linshin from time to time. Gu Linshin, on the other hand, was looking at her with a pair of sinister eyes the whole time. Thus, when their eyes met, Luo Luoli immediately stopped looking at him and pretended to be innocent. Her uncle wasn't really going to deal with her, was he? Looking at the speeding car outside the window, she wondered if she could jump out of the car. She really wanted to jump out of the car. If she did, she could run away. But she didn't dare to. Should she tell her uncle the truth? When they reached home, Gu Linshin grabbed the cowering Luo Luoli and dragged her upstairs. Little uncle, no. I was wrong. I won't do it again. Luo Luoli wailed and begged. However, Gu Linshin ignored her. He dragged Luo Luoli into her room and slammed the door shut. He pressed Luo Luoli against the door and covered her with his strong body, enveloping Luo Luoli completely. Luo Luoli's heart almost stopped as she stared blankly at the face so close to her. Little uncle, didn't you say you want to find yourself a backer? Didn't you use me to escape from Zhou Xuejing? Do you want to know what I will do to you? Gu Linshin asked. At such a close distance, Luo Luoli could smell the fragrance of her uncle's breath. It made her face heat up, but she was afraid of what Gu Linshin would do to her. She didn't dare to think about it. However, at this moment, Luo Lolly felt something tighten around her waist, followed by a chill. Her body froze. She couldn't believe it. Even Zhou Shuejing didn't have the chance to do this. Little uncle, don't. Luo Luoli froze and didn't dare to move. She begged for mercy. Why not? You know what I'm doing, right? I can do more. Gu Linshan's thin lips landed on Luo Luoli's ear. Luo Luoli's body suddenly trembled. So sensitive? Gu Linshan smelled the sweet scent of a young girl on Luo Luoli's body, and her delicate skin made him restless. No, we can't. Luo Luoli didn't understand. She was already so ugly. How could her uncle do such a thing to her? Aren't you still planning to sleep with me? Or, let's do it again? No. Luo Luoli was so scared that she wanted to cry. It was too scary. Why not? You're not my biological niece. No one dares to resist me. Do you want to try? No. Little uncle, I didn't go to the internet cafe, and I didn't play games with other boys. Luo Luoli sobbed. Gu Linshan paused. He really didn't want Luo Luoli to tell the truth so quickly. He wanted to go even further. He suppressed the restlessness in his body and let go of her. He looked at her with a sullen face. Luo Luoli looked miserable. She stood against the wall like a primary school student. You're willing to tell the truth now? Luo Luoli was surprised. Little uncle, you know that I'm lying? You? How did you know? With that face of yours, which boy do you think would want to play games with you? Aren't you afraid of nightmares? Gu Linshan sneered. Luo Luoli had forgotten this point, not to mention the internet cafe. Chapter 444. Where did you get the confidence to lie in front of me? Gu Linshan asked coldly. Still not telling me? Gu Linshan's eyes darkened. It's your fiancée. Gu Linshan frowned. What fiancée? The woman who came here to look for you last time. Was her uncle playing dumb? Who told you that she's my fiancée? That's what she told me. I didn't know. Don't talk nonsense if you don't know. What did she do wrong? Luo Luoli thought, feeling wronged. What did she tell you? She didn't say anything. What do you mean by that? Luo Luoli looked at Gu Linshan's unfriendly expression and hesitated. She was wondering why I called you uncle. Uncle, you don't have any sisters. So where did your niece come from? She knows that I'm the adopted daughter of the Gu family, so she should know who I am. It's no secret that you're the adopted daughter of the Gu family. However, Lin Xiangting shouldn't have come to look for Luo Luoli. That's all. Luo Luoli shook her head. I dare you to lie to me again. Gu Linshan warned her, glanced at her coldly, and left the room. Luo Luoli heaved a sigh of relief when she saw the person leaving. She didn't know why, but she felt that the skin around her waist was a little hot. It seemed to be the place where her uncle had touched. Why was it hot? In the office. Malay, I still want to climb through the window, Tang Bao said. Wan Malay almost fell off her chair. She walked out and looked at the bored person sitting at the desk and asked, Is it okay to climb through it once? It's very dangerous. I've already done it once. Practice makes perfect. It's okay. Didn't you say that the young master asked you to wait for a week? But why did he ask me to wait for a week? Can I go and see him? Tang Bao was depressed. Maybe it's because young master's mother is there, so she doesn't want you to have any conflicts when you meet. You have to know that it's hard for a man to be caught in the middle when his wife and mother-in-law don't have a good relationship, Wan Malay said, as if he had experienced it before. I can go at night. It doesn't have to be during the day, Tang Bao said matter-of-factly. Wan Malay was speechless. So annoying. Tang Bao was going crazy. Lying on the desk, his eyes glazed over. Isn't it just a week? It'll be over soon. Then accompany me to the hospital after work, Tang Bao said as she blinked her watery eyes. You won't be able to see the young emperor anyway, so you might as well not go. Wasn't that just asking for trouble? You can't watch, yet you won't let me go? I'll go now. In fact, before it was time to get off work, Tang Bao had already urged Wan Malay to leave. When they arrived at the hospital, the two of them got out of the car and prepared to go to the hospital building. However, at the entrance of the hospital, they saw Lan Wanru coming out from inside. He seemed to be in a good mood, and his eyes were full of flirtatious feelings. Moreover, Lan Wanru was alone. There was no sign of Yu Songwan. Tang Bao looked at him strangely. When Lan Wanru saw Tang Bao, he was stunned for a moment. Then, with a smile on his face, he walked over, until he stood in front of Tang Bao and looked at her with disdain. "You came alone?" Tang Bao asked. "Of course. How many people do you think there should be?" Lan Wanru smiled. "Where's Di Hao Ian's mother? She didn't come?" Tang Bao asked. "She said that she wanted to give me a chance to be with brother Hao Ian, so she didn't come." Tang Bao didn't want to believe Lan Wanru's words at all. However, she saw with her own eyes that Lan Wanru was alone. However, when she thought of what Di Hao Ian told her before, that there was nothing between him and Lan Wanru, she still chose to believe Di Hao Ian. "Lan Wanru, you don't have to lie to me like this. Do you think I'll believe you? Di Hao Ian doesn't even want to look at you. Is that so? Then how can I stay here for a day? You still don't know, right? I've been accompanying brother Hao Ian for the past 2 days. If he doesn't want to see me, how can I stay by brother Hao Ian's side?" Lan Wanru sneered. Looking at Tang Bao's face gradually changing color, Lan Wanru finally felt elated. "You're really shameless. How can you say that you're staying by someone else's husband's side?" Wan Malay said sarcastically. "Who do you think you are?" Lan Wanru's face turned ugly. "Me? Maybe I'm an onion? Who do you think you are?" Wan Malay retorted. "You." Lan Wanru was furious, but she immediately calmed down. She had Di Hao Ian, so she didn't care about anything. Besides, she just wanted to return all the humiliation she had suffered in the past to Tang Bao. So she looked at the wooden Tang Bao. "I'm really not lying to you. Think about it carefully. Why can I accompany Di Hao Ian every day, but you can't? There's something else I need to tell you. Brother Hao Ian didn't even mention you after he woke up." "Impossible." "See, you don't believe me again. If you don't believe me, you can continue to wait and see if brother Hao Ian will call you." Lan Wanru sneered, turned around, and got into the car. The car arrogantly drove away from their eyes. Wan Malay looked at Tang Bao's stunned expression and asked, "You don't really believe Lan Wanru's words, do you? That idiot is trying to drive a wedge between us." "Yes, I don't believe her. I'll come over tomorrow and see if Lan Wanru has stayed in Di Hao Ian's ward for the whole day. Let's go back." Tang Bao turned around and left the hospital. Wan Malay had no choice but to chase after him. Early the next morning, Tang Bao and Wan Malay arrived at the hospital. After waiting for almost an hour, they saw a familiar car drive in. They had just seen it yesterday, so it was impossible for them not to remember it. After the car door opened, Lan Wanru got out. She was still alone. She was carrying a lunchbox in her hand. When Lan Wanru turned around and saw them, she sneered silently and didn't say anything. She entered the hospital. She must have known that we were coming, so she put on an act for us, Wan Malay said. But how much of Wan Malay's comforting words had touched Tang Bao's heart? Tang Bao stood in front of the hospital building. She tilted her head and looked at the window above. Tang Bao kept looking at her neck. She didn't know if it was sore or not. "Tang Bao, don't keep staring. You can't see anything." Wan Malay was afraid that her neck wouldn't be able to take it. No, with Lan Wanru's personality, if she really stayed by Di Hao Ian's side, she would definitely do something and then laugh at me, Tang Bao said with certainty. Just as Tang Bao said, half an hour later, there were shadows moving on the balcony. The silhouettes were Di Hao Ian and Lan Wanru. Then she saw Lan Wanru leaning into Di Hao Ian's arms. Di Hao Ian didn't push her away. Instead, he seemed to be very happy. Tang Bao stared blankly at this scene. He felt as if his heart was being torn apart. Why was Di Hao Ian so intimate with Lan Wanru? Chapter 445. What was the situation now? She chose to believe Di Hao Ian, but he made her doubt him? Wan Malay naturally saw the two of them hugging each other. When she looked at Tang Bao's expression, she only felt a wave of sadness in her heart. She was right. He would take action, but such a scene was too unexpected. It was not within the range of acceptance and imagination. Tang Bao. Wan Malay was just about to speak when Tang Bao interrupted her. Do you think Di Hao Ian doesn't want to see me because he wants to be with Lan Wanru? How is that possible? Di Hao Qian doesn't care about Lan Wanru at all, Wan Malay said nonchalantly. Then was what I see with my own eyes tell me. Tang Bao, there might be other reasons. Wan Malay felt that her comfort was not persuasive at all. However, Tang Bao listened. For her, a little bit of persuasion was enough to make her willing to believe. Otherwise, all of this would not make sense. Tang Bao looked away and turned to Wan Malay, saying, "Then come over with me at 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. I'll climb up and take a look. I want to ask him personally what kind of difficulties he has that made him hug Lan Wanru like this." Tang Bao, it's very dangerous. I've already climbed up once. Do you care about a second time? Tang Bao asked. Was he trying to make Wan Malay regret that she had been so cooperative and connived at Tang Bao's dangerous behavior the first time? Tang Bao turned to leave. Di Hao Qian happened to look over. He only saw the figure resting as she left. His dark eyes were stunned. This was already the second time he had seen her. When it was nighttime, it was not as late as the last time. It was easy to be discovered. However, Tang Bao was afraid that it was too late. Di Hao Qian had gone to bed. It was not good to disturb his sleep. That was because he was still recovering from his surgery. At this moment, even if Di Hao Qian had betrayed her, her first reaction would still be to help Di Hao Qian. In his heart, he would rather believe that he had no other choice with the help of Wan Malay. Tang Bao slowly climbed up, his hands firmly holding on to the railings on each floor. The air conditioner external unit. Wan Malay's heart was in his throat. They also had to prevent anyone from seeing them. When Tang Bao was almost exhausted, he grabbed the guardrail on the floor where Di Hao Qian was. She hugged the guardrail tightly and panted. Then, she raised her head and looked through the window. She saw Di Hao Qian leaning against the bed. Di Hao Qian seemed to have sensed it. His dark eyes sharpened as he turned to look at Tang Bao. Then he froze. When Tang Bao realized that Di Hao Qian had noticed her, she immediately waved excitedly. However, she did not get any reaction from Di Hao Qian. Di Hao Qian did not say a word and even looked at her with a cold expression. It made Tang Bao's waving hand freeze. She felt uncomfortable. But she still climbed over the guardrail. She landed on the balcony. When Wan Malay saw that Tang Bao had landed safely, she took a deep breath and patted her little heart. This was even scarier than a roller coaster. Tang Bao went to the balcony door, but found that it was locked. She could only stand in front of the window and knock on Di Hao Qian's window. Di Hao Qian opened the door. Di Hao Qian did not move. He just looked at her with a pair of sharp eyes. Tang Bao was shocked by the coldness in his eyes. She thought, could it be that this window could not see the outside from the inside? Otherwise, why would he have such an expression when he saw her? Just as she was feeling puzzled, she saw Lan Wanru inside. She was still here? Moreover, Lan Wanru saw her. She looked at Tang Bao in disbelief. How did she get in? Lan Wanru looked at Di Hao Qian nervously. Di Hao Qian's expression did not show any emotion. It was deep. Let her in. Di Hao Qian looked at the sad and hurt eyes by the window. His cold heart seemed to move, and then he spoke. And the slight movement of his heart was just a matter of a moment. Calmness was quickly restored. Lan Wanru did not want Tang Bao to come in. In the past few days, Di Hao Qian did not even mention Tang Bao. She thought that it would be better if Tang Bao never appeared. She did not expect that she would appear in front of Di Hao Qian, and in a way that she could not imagine. Although she did not want to admit Tang Bao's courage, there was no other way for her to stay on the balcony except to climb over the railings. Lan Wanru opened the door and looked at Tang Bao with resentment. Why didn't she fall to her death when she climbed up? Tang Bao ignored Lan Wanru's resentful expression. She walked directly into the room anxiously until she stopped in front of Di Hao Qian's bed and looked at him closely. Di Hao Qian, are you okay? How does her body feel? Does her head still hurt? Tang Bao felt that she had a lot of questions to ask, but she could only ask these questions. I'm fine. Di Hao Qian looked at her in the same way, as if he wanted to see something in Tang Bao. That's good. I heard that you will be discharged in a week, right? That's great. Di Hao Qian lowered his gaze slightly and did not say anything. Tang Bao looked at Di Hao Yan's expression and attitude. She opened her mouth and found that she did not know what to say in front of Di Hao Yan. I will be discharged in a few days. You don't have to climb the wall. Di Hao Yan spoke when the atmosphere was stiff. However, Tang Bao still felt that the Di Hao Yan in front of her was like a different person. At first, she was worried that Di Hao Yan would be furious when he saw her doing such a dangerous thing. But no, he was very calm. Calm to the point of indifference. It was as if he was facing a stranger. Di Hao Yan, are you angry that I didn't come to see you? The bodyguards outside didn't let me in. I've been waiting for your call. Di Hao Yan, why didn't you call me after you woke up? I was worried about you, Tang Bao said. Di Hao Yan could now conclude that the person in front of him was his wife. So, he had no choice but to marry her? That must be the case. Otherwise, how could he not remember her at all? From the moment she appeared, there was only strangeness in his mind. If there's nothing else, don't come over, Di Hao Yan said without looking at her. Tang Bao could not believe what she was hearing. Why was Di Hao Yan so cold? How could he say such things when he saw his wife? Shouldn't he be happy to see her? At this moment, Lan Wanru walked over and said, That's right. You'll only disturb Brother Hao Yan's rest if you come over like this. Don't worry. I'll be here to accompany Brother Hao Yan. Tang Bao was already in a bad mood. Now that Lan Wanru was still pretending to be gentle, she was instantly furious. Who do you think you are? Do you have a right to speak? Lan Wanru was furious, but Di Hao Yan was here. She could not argue with her and make herself look rude. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.